The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning.
Get your home ready for winter. Schedule your furnace tune-up with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning and save $30. Visit standardheating.com to book and lock in your savings.
The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show. 93.
Well, damn. Whose idea was this? Josh, did you see what time it is?
It is a little early. 5:41, is that what you're talking about?
Whose friggin' idea was this? You're right, it is 5:41. You're listening to the Wednesday edition of the 93X Half-Ass Morning Show. It's a live broadcast. 100% all out live. Speaking of live broadcast, on the topic of live broadcast, we'll be cutting loose with one of those in a little over a week. An on-location style live broadcast from over there. We're having a little beer party, over there in Turtle Lake, Wisconsin, at a place called Turtle Lake Casino. So tell me if I'm wrong, Josh. Next Friday, to be exact.
Next Friday is the broadcast, correct.
That's
starts
when the
Thursday night. The party starts Thursday night.
Thursday, and then the broadcast will be Friday. Do you know what we found out yesterday now? Some rooms have opened up over there at the hotel.
That's awesome.
All right, so there's
You can
room.
bring your concubines. You can bring your more concubines.
What's a concubine?
Look it up.
You talking about
Your mom.
women's? Women?
Your mom is a concubine.
I can bring my mom.
You can bring your mom.
There's room for more of you. If you want to join the party, go to our website. We got room, and we could use a few more of yous out there. That's what we found out yesterday.
Yeah, that's awesome they did that. That's great. One of the sponsors is Devani's Pizza, one of my favorites.
Does that mean they're going to have pies from one end of the joint to the other?
I don't know. I hope so.
At 3 a.m., I wake up a little hungry there at the casino. I can call the Devani's guy
Get
who's
yourself a hoagie or something.
He's staying staying in the room above me.
He's got a big Chef Boyardee hat, whipping up pizzas.
Yeah, he's in room 126.
How far does Devani's want to take this? Can I call him at 3 o'clock in the morning?
That'd be sweet.
I doubt it. At least the one by me's not open that late. But we were lucky enough to have Devani's yesterday, a big company meeting, and
you always consider yourself lucky, don't you, Josh, when we have a big company meeting?
Oh, I look forward to it. I was pretty pumped. They're like, hey, it's at 11:30. I'm like, awesome. They pushed it back an hour. That's even better. I got more time to look forward to it. But I just want everyone to know, I'm looking around. You guys all look pretty good because I picked 2 pizzas and I put a 6-level witch spell, the flesh to the stone spell on them, and I'm waiting for someone to turn to stone.
What in the world are you talking about?
I cursed 2 of the pizzas, you dumb son of a bitches.
Oh, no.
Yeah, you ate them? You didn't even know.
Oh, were they the pizzas on the left side of the table?
Not saying.
Uh-oh.
Not
I think I ate them.
Tell me what's next for me then, because, I went through a lot of that pizza.
Yeah, I made sure the ones you had were safe.
All right.
Yeah, you're the only one I looked out for. 2 of them were cursed. Some people might put something gross in there. I just cursed them.
Did you watch a scary movie or something? Where's this coming from?
No, I was trying to think of something I could say about Domino's Pizza. That's all.
Did you bring in the wrestler Danhausen and he cursed the pizza too?
Hey, let me ask you something about Danhausen. Are we going to get him on the air?
Oh, I hope so. I'm working on it. That would be so cool.
Okay.
I do want him.
He's coming to town, and Danhausen, you might be able to join us. That'd be awesome.
You guys know, though, he is very good, but he's also very evil.
I don't know a ton about him. I know we have a Danhausen lover Jesus in the listening audience, and I know you guys have said some funny stuff about him.
I haven't watched television wrestling in an embarrassing amount of time, but I'm very familiar with Danhausen. Love his character. Yes, I'm aware that he's very good and very evil, so he's kind of like a rich friend.
Yeah. But
there's a lot of good that can come of it, but there's a lot of evil that could come out of it as well. Like a rich friend. Isn't that right, Ashley?
Yeah.
Come on over to Wisco with us. Look it up on our website. It's a week away. You got plenty of time to pack and get yourself organized. But, that's some information that was dumped on us yesterday. They said, give folks a heads up. We got a couple of rooms that became available So let's do this. Next week, starting on the 17th, that's a Thursday, through the 19th, which would be Saturday. St. Croix Casino in Turtle Lake. Terrific joint. We have a lot of laughs over there. This will be the third time we're going over that way for an event we call the Brotherhood Bash. Wow. Cubby mentioned the Devani's hookup, live broadcast, this and that. A live show Friday night by Jesse James Dupree's new band, Breathing Fire. I'm very much looking forward to what Jesse James Dupree has in store for us. I've already mentioned when we started talking about this trip to Wisco, I've already mentioned that he and his former act, I guess at this point, Jackal, one of my favorite live bands ever.
He was nice enough to agree to join us to promote the show next week. So
okay.
So far, Tuesday morning, it sounds like he'll be calling in. So.
If you're not familiar with Jesse James Dupree, lead singer of Jackal, now lead singer of a project called Breathing Fire. If you're not familiar with him, you'll find out next Tuesday. He is not shy.
No.
That dude, I mean, maybe things have changed, but years and years ago when he used to join us on the air, the dude just can talk. I mean, by damn, can he talk. And he keeps it interesting at all times. It's not like, oh, we could think of a few other rock stars that like to talk and they go nowhere with it. I don't know. Nikki Sixx comes to mind. Who are some other rock stars we've talked to that can't stop talking and they go nowhere with it?
Wait, Nikki Sixx, number
Go ahead,
one.
Wapple.
Lars Ulrich.
Oh,
Metallica.
no, I disagree.
I think he can go on. You're right.
Yeah.
But he has good stuff to say.
Yeah, the last time we had Lars on, I think we spent the entire time laughing.
Yeah, I guess I went more along the lines of you could just say hello and then they can just go.
Oh, yeah, he's a good talker, for sure, but he's got interesting stuff. And he doesn't just talk only about himself. You know, he'll have a conversation. Yeah, so I think Lars is a very good interview. You know, not that Nikki Sixx is a bad one.
He is a bad interview, Nikki Sixx,
so?
yes.
It's just different.
No, it isn't different. It's bad.
It's a lot of the same stuff and a lot of, a little self-serving. But that's kind of what Motley Crue is, right?
A little self-serving?
I'm trying to be nice.
Cubby continues to be the nicest guy in the county. All right.
Well, except that I put a hex on two pizzas.
Yeah, that was rude.
That wasn't cool.
I think
better than pubes. That's
you've
that's
got
my slogan.
I think it's all right.
Better than pubes, he said.
That's my slogan. You know what? I wonder. I'm going to offer that to my friends at Devani's. What do you think, guys? Your new slogan.
You've got seniority around here, Josh. You can do what you want with the pizza pies.
Thank you.
Seniority is the word. All right. What else is going on?
Did you guys ever watch Jesse James's show? Full Throttle Saloon.
Never saw.
I did watch that. Yeah.
I
forgot about that.
That's kind of where I learned about Jesse James Dupree. From there, went into a rabbit hole on Jackal. But boy, was that show kind of fun.
Did you know? I mean, do you remember him like as the chainsaw guy? Right.
Oh, yeah.
They kind of got that reputation. So for some people, if they didn't understand what Jackal meant, you say, the guy with the chainsaw, and then they're like, oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
He's a lumberjack, baby.
Yeah. What will he do after he rocks you?
Oh, he'll roll you.
And then what?
You really want to know?
I forgot the slogan because it's not very memorable.
He'll go ahead and he'll jackal you right off.
Oh, my gosh.
Rock me, roll me, jackal me off.
It's so good.
I got a lot of love for that guy, as you can tell. Again,
Me too.
Just like a few weeks ago when we brought it up, I'll just keep talking about the guy because I just think he's terrific.
And he's just such a nice dude. I mean,
Yes.
like a regular guy.
Been a long time, though. Maybe he's a prick now.
That's true.
I don't know.
Maybe he's all buttoned up and he has like a British accent, or he's,
I would doubt that.
we bring up the "Jackal me off" slogan and he gets just enraged.
That's shallow and pedantic, he says.
You guys are so immature.
So when we head on over to Wisconsin, it really is the one day of the year, or I guess 2 days out of the year, where I get a small taste of life as a degenerate sports gambler. And I'm looking forward to that again.
I'm 1-0 in sports gambling.
Whoa, you gonna retire undefeated?
I don't know. I was trying to think if I'll do it again this year. We hit last year, me and Nick, when we made. How many bets did you do? Did you do more than one? I just did the one.
Yeah, I get 5 or 6.
Oh, you did that many? Okay.
Yeah. I think I was successful. I think I went 4-2. Anyway, remind me of this bet that we made. So And I didn't make any money because a couple of the bets that I won were real chicken bets. And then the couple that I lost were worth a few more bucks. And it is a great time of year to come on out there with us next week because it'll be the League Championship Series in Major League Baseball, the ALCS and the NLCS, and, of course, college football coming out of your ass. I just looked up the Golden Gophers. Unfortunately, they don't play next weekend. But tell me about this bet. I don't remember. Do you remember the specifics?
I thought we bet something on the Wild, and we both won $20.
Yeah. Oh, and we kind of ended up being the dicks at the bar that night.
Yeah.
Because, right, that's great. The Pigs were playing somebody doesn't matter. Now that I'm thinking about it, I think it was the Los Angeles Kings.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? You are right. That's
and
what
before the game, we were talking about what kind of bet we should make. Should we make it on this college football game? And I think we agreed, let's bet on the Pigs. It'll make it a little more fun because they're the home team, as opposed to betting on Appalachian State against, North Dakota A&I or something. So let's bet on the Pigs. It's a local game. And I remember that I had read something about how the L.A. Kings were just scoring an assload of goals lately. So I said, let's bet the over, this and that. And if I remember right, in that game, the L.A. Kings, I think, opened up a 4-0 lead before I had half a beer in my stomach.
Nice.
And, of course, the crowd, mostly Minnesotans, are going, oh, great, again, they're going to get their asses whooped by the Kings. And Josh and I are over there going, woo! Go Kings, baby, come on! State of hockey, goal. My ass!
Yeah, I just looked it up. They won 7-3.
That's right.
Wow.
And so that was it. That was your only bet.
That was it, $20.
I'm not allowed to sports gamble there because I'm an idiot. And last year, sorry, excuse me, I did everything correctly. I won over $400, but there was something, the rest of the parlay was on Sunday morning or something like that. So, or Saturday night, something like that. So you have to either go back to the casino to cash it in or mail it in.
Right.
In 90 days, and I never did either.
So you just kind of said no to $400.
Yep, and
how do you do that?
I hate myself because I could.
It's not that long of a drive, for Christ's sake.
I know. It's just everything kept coming up. Especially Nick, I have friends that live 20 minutes away from there, so I could have just given them my ticket.
Also, I had a stamp you could borrow too.
Check it out, Ashley. I ain't mad at you.
myself.
I'm also lazy enough to just say F it to $400.
You can mail it in?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you didn't even do that?
Yeah. Yeah, you can
Ashley,
definitely
I'll
mail
do
it in.
that for free. I'll even buy the stamp if that happens again so you don't miss out on that.
Okay, thank you.
This reminds me, see, a lot of my pals are degenerate gamblers. I bust Randy Shaver's balls because I truly believe he's become a scumbag, degenerate sports gambler, but he ain't even scratching the surface if you compare him to a couple of my bros. Now, a couple of these bros of mine are going to come with me next weekend, and they just shake like an alcoholic until they make their first bet. I'm telling you, everything from pull tabs to cards, slots, sports gambling, they're junkies.
I have friends like that, too.
And a couple of them are coming with me next weekend, and I hope they lose their ass. I just hope it's the most miserable weekend for them. But anyway, your story reminds me of one of them, who I strongly think, at least the last indication I got from him, he's going to come with next weekend. He had a similar situation. We're sitting at a bar in Wayzata, and it dawns on him that he has 12 hours or something to get to Turtle Lake Casino to This is how often the guy bets. He'll go through his receipts in his pocket and go, oh, I won $1,000 on this bet. I got to get out to the casino and get my money, right? He's got 12 hours to do it. We're all laughing our asses off at the guy. And then he starts asking folks at the bar, hey, what are you doing tonight?
Oh my gosh.
And I said, well, I'm just sitting here. What do you want to go to Turtle Lake? I said, I've had a few beers. I'm not going. He's asking everyone in the bar to give him a ride. That night, out to Turtle Lake so he can win, cash in his money. Everyone says no, and we're making fun of the guy, right? Finally, at the end of the night, he finds this woman in the bar who's intoxibidamcated. He convinces her to drive him to Turtle Lake. And he said, well, I'm going to get out of here. This gal here says I need this money. I need this money. He's one of those guys where he does need he's like, I got to go out there. And I said, you are not getting into a car with a complete stranger who, by the way, is at about a .22 right now. So you can, what the hell's the matter with you? That's what I'm talking about. That's the level of gambling junkie these guys are. He never went through with the ride. We talked him out of it.
Good.
I'm not a gambler at all. I'm pretty conservative with all that kind of stuff. But I felt a little awkward that last year I didn't know how to place a sports bet. I didn't know how to do it, so I had to ask my stepson, of all people. It's kind of like when I wanted to buy a nice bottle of booze for a buddy of mine, I had to ask my stepson.
I didn't understand the process right away either last year, Josh, just because I don't do it anymore. I don't bet on anything anymore. So you weren't alone. It's kind of a complicated process when you step up to that screen and you got to...
Was that how it was last time you did it? Prior when you said you used to do it?
No.
How did you just fill out a form or?
I can't remember, to be honest with you.
You usually just go up to the guy behind the counter and say, hey, I want to put $20 on the over in the Wild game.
That much I remember. There was a live human being.
Yeah.
I mean, it had been a long time since I had bet before.
Are the machines how you do it everywhere now, or is that just kind of a high-tech thing they got it?
I think Vegas still has live people and as well as machines, but I think most places are heading towards going all machines nowadays.
It's slicker than hell.
Mm-hmm. I felt like I was 100 years old. Like have you ever watched somebody in their 70s find one of those Coke Freestyle machines?
Oh yeah, that's painful.
Yeah, don't let my mom or dad near those. They don't know what's going on.
Man, that's the first time I felt that old around technology. I didn't understand what I was doing at first.
I'm going to give you guys a heads up next week when we get there. And again, we hope more of you join us. We found out there's rooms available. Go to our website next weekend, next Thursday, Friday, I guess I should say. We'll be broadcasting live, have this keg party, the whole schmear out there at Turtle Lake Casino. I'm going to give you a heads up. I know you folks don't know these pals of mine. Well, you know one of them. You've seen one of them around. I'm going to give you a heads up because I guarantee at one point or another, one or all of them are going to become miserable because they're losing all their money on the ball games and all their money's on slot machines and playing cards. And I just want you to keep an eye on how sad and pathetic they become because it's a hell of a lot of fun for the rest of us.
They're just going to be pumped as soon as they get there, and then all of a sudden, halfway through the day, they're just miserable.
Yep.
The next day, even worse.
They're going to get very drunk. I'm telling you, it's like clockwork. They'll get real drunk and real sad, and I want you folks to help me pick on them.
I can do that for you.
Yes, thank you.
It'll just be like a living, walking, anti-gambling PSA. You just look at them and like, I do not want my life to be like that.
Yeah, I got to be a little more reasonable with my gambling than those guys.
I'm gonna go buy them and then talk about how much money I've won.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But you're never going to cash it in.
No.
We should mention too, if you're not interested or able to get a room, you can. They're selling packages where you can go to the happy hour on Thursday night, and you can have. Can you do the breakfast? I can't remember about that. You can?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, they have the breakfast, and then you also get the concert, too.
All right, and the broadcast. So you can do all that if, it's cheaper, and if you're not able to stay over or I don't usually like sleeping places, so if you don't want to sleep over, you can do that as well and just kind of hang out. I love that event. That really is fun. And I hate leaving the house, but not for this.
Josh and I were talking yesterday, and he asked if my fiance was coming. She can't make it. She's got plans that weekend, so... You know what's been going down in my room? Playing Nintendo Switch and crying by myself.
Crying.
You're going to play Nintendo Switch?
While crying.
While crying.
What I like about
I'll play some Nintendo Switch. Go ahead, Walt.
What I like about Turtle Lake is you get to play craps. Oh, God, that's so much fun. I just learned like 2 years ago, and I love it. It's like Monopoly.
I've had a lot of fun playing. Oh no, craps! I don't understand a word of it. I thought when you said craps, I thought you meant roulette, which is very easy. You just pick a number.
Yeah.
Craps. I don't understand at all what's happening at any time. But a couple years ago, I won a big wad of money, and I had no idea what I was doing.
Yeah,
not a single clue what I was doing.
You just play that money line, you get some money, and then you start putting it on properties.
See, I don't understand what that means.
Oh God, on 10, yeah.
Are you talking about Monopoly?
I'm talking about craps and Monopoly. That's how I learned how to play. The dealer was kind of helping me the first time, and then he's like, "Do you really want to play craps now?" And I'm like, "Well, I thought we were." And he's like, "Now just think of it like Monopoly." And then my mind just like opened up, and I was like, "Oh, I understand it."
I still don't get it.
Question: roulette. Is there a strategy at all?
No.
Okay, I didn't think there
not
was.
If you ask me, and I've sat there for quite a stretch of time at casinos playing roulette, if there is a strategy, I'm unaware of it. I like this number, I like this color, I like this and that. That's someone can text in and tell me different, but I just sat and blindly chose numbers and colors. I guess I thought that's what the fun of roulette was, that you don't need any strategy or skill.
Well,
I do not excel at anything that involves strategy.
Well, that's why sometimes I hate playing blackjack, because I don't want to mess up the people to my left.
Stop caring about the people.
I don't want to get them mad at me.
Oh, no, dude, I hit on 17 all day long. It pisses them
Don't
off.
do that.
Oh, I love it, because then sometimes I win, and it makes them so much more
Who
angry.
cares about the other people at the table? I know there's blackjack players out there who get real mad. I don't care.
I care about that 75-year-old lady that's down at the corner who's just staring
I'll
at
take
you.
her out for you, Waffle.
She'd step on your friggin' Adam's apple to get her money. Why do you care about her? Strategy, I am not a strategic person. That's why I've always sucked at cards. Roulette, as far as I know, I like 19 red. All right, ready, go. That you can be 5 and play roulette. You know, that's why I enjoy it.
Do you do poker at all?
No, same thing. There's too much. I mean, of course, I've played it, but I suck at it because
I'm not very good either.
Oh God, there's strategy and there's memory skills that'll help you in poker, and I don't have that.
If there's anything I've learned from all the way through season 8 of the show, Suits, like Harvey Specter says, you don't play the cards, you play the man. When you're playing poker, you play the man.
Play the man. Yeah, you know, I've never really gotten wildly dialed into any kind of gambling. Sure, I've had my moments. When I was younger, I made sports bets. Sure, we used to play cards a little bit more when we were young. But boy, a lot of my friends have become so passionate about it. Everything, like I said, everything from pull tabs to elaborate sport bets. I'll tell you a little story. One of my best pals, unfortunately, he died young. Oh, God, how many years has it been now? 25 years, something like that. The poor guy's been gone. Joe Studley. Every day I miss Joe Studley. Joe loved to gamble on ball games. And after he died, some of his closest friends got some of his clothes, which was nice. You know, got to remember him forever in a lot of ways, but one of the ways is got some of his old shirts and whatnot hanging in a closet. Always remember Joe Studley. One day, Big Al called me. Big Al was one of the guys who got some of Studley's clothes. So was I and a couple others. Big Al calls me. He says, "You're not going to friggin' believe this." He was hanging up some of Joe Studley's clothes, and he reached into the front shirt pocket, and he found a bunch of friggin' odds on ball games.
Oh, no.
I mean, the guy was so into it. Even in one of his random shirts, there's a little piece of paper that said Browns -3, Patriots +7, all this stuff.
Wow.
Cool little memory to have.
That's like putting on my winter jacket every single time in the fall. You put it on and you hope that you got like $20 in a couple of the pockets.
Oh, dude, that happened to me the other day. It was so cool. I found a $5 bill.
That's never happened to me.
Found money?
Yeah, I've never done that where I rarely ever have cash. I really never did my whole life, but yeah, I've never, the winter jacket thing. I've had friends that say that. I found $5 in my pocket or something like that. That's got to be a pretty good feeling.
One time I found like $300 in a junk drawer.
Dude, that's awesome.
Holy cow.
I was stashing money in this junk drawer, and of course it's full of garbage, and it just got lost in the garbage. Who knows how long it sat there, but boy, I was a young guy. That was massive.
Mine always would happen, like, because I'm snowboarding, so then I'll go get a beer or something like that, and I don't want to pull out my wallet again, so I'll just toss my money in a random pocket.
Sometimes
You
your
know
own.
what? If you need a random pocket, pick mine.
Yeah.
From a former dealer and current professional card counter. This text starts, it's a gambler's fallacy that, quote, playing wrong messes up the show. Play however the hell you want, Ashley. So you're doing it right.
Cool. All right.
The original toolmaker Jesus has a strategy at roulette. You play double streets. $50 bet wins you $60. It's an 82% win rate.
I don't have any idea what he just said.
Me neither. Bank examining Jesus. Best strategy for roulette, play quadrants, where you have a lot of numbers around each other. Better chance to hit a specific portion of the wheel.
Yep.
There you go.
Don't get that really either. I did once. I went to Vegas for my honeymoon, and I wish my wife could have made it, but I was there. And so a buddy from work said, hey, put $10 on black for me. So I did. A second later, I lost that $10. That's my only experience.
That was it? One and done.
Now, when we go to Wisco next weekend, and again, I encourage you folks to pick on my degenerate friends who certainly will be losing and losing terribly all weekend. I encourage you to pick on them, and don't feel bad when you do it, because one of them, he's the type of guy that would pick on you too if you're losing. And many years ago, we went to Chicago or Milwaukee. I can't remember which one it was. Me and this buddy, who's going to be coming with next weekend. And we went to what I believe still to this day is the saddest place I've ever been. It was an off-track horse race betting bar.
Oh, I've always wanted to go to one of those.
I've been to some of those. That is depressing.
We were there one night for a handful of hours, and I really do think still to this day it's the saddest place I've ever been. Off-track horse race betting. And it was really interesting. First thing first, I'll mention it was interesting. Wow, I mean, just this bar dedicated, televisions everywhere showing horse races from all over the country. And there was a process where you could bet on, I'll bet on this race in Louisiana. I'll bet on this race happening in Kentucky. It was just new to me. We were having a good time. We were the only ones having a good time because we were brand new to the scene. Everyone else in there seemed to be so depressed and so defeated. There was this old timer at the bar, long gray beard. He kind of looked like that character from Team America World Police who said, there's two types of people in this world, Chuck. There's a-holes and there's, you know the guy, the kind of vomit in his beard. There was this sad old man at the bar, long gray beard, and he's losing his ass. And this friend of mine, who I want you to pick on next weekend, he made this old man a target. I thought it was pretty cold-blooded, but at the same time hilarious. So we're keeping an eye on this old guy, and every every race he's betting on, he's losing. And you know how it goes. The race would begin, and he'd be sitting there. The old man would be going, come on, 6. Oh, baby, let's go 6. And then 6 would lose, and he'd go, oh, Christ. And he'd do it all over again. So my pal bellies up to the bar right next to him. And when the next race begins, the old man's, come on, 4, please, 4. And my buddy stands up, on his bar stool. Come on, 9. Let's go, baby. Woo! And this old man looked at him like, if I had the strength, I'd strangle you to death right now. Just picked on the poor guy. It's part of the fun. Be a dick. So that'll be next weekend. We got to worry about today already. Hey, this morning, I think we're scheduled to have our first ever visit for the hockey season by our old bro, Marcus Foligno.
I'm pumped.
Yeah, he's always fun. That's a guy. That's a great interview. And he can talk, too. He's great.
He's got stories.
He does.
I've really enjoyed getting to know Marcus, and the boys start their season tomorrow, so we'll have to find out what the hell he's been doing since last April. Marcus Foligno going to join us this hockey season, if everything plays out correctly. You're a terrific crowd. It's a Wednesday. We're going to take a break, but we'll come right back with the stupid news on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
Half-Assed Morning Show.
They're loud, they lose control, they do their little circus act. They're a nuisance.
93X.
Our technicians are geared up and ready to make sure your system is running reliably this winter. Regular maintenance from Standard Heating and Air Conditioning helps prevent costlier breakdowns in the future, and we know they always happen at the worst time.
Hey, Ashley here. Get your home ready for winter. Schedule your furnace tune-up with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning and save $30. Have a boiler? Save $40 on your boiler tune-up. Visit standardheating.com to book and lock in your savings. Stay cozy, stay ready.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever think about switching insurance companies to see if you could save some cash? Progressive makes it easy to see if you could save when you bundle your home and auto policies. Try it at progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states.
Stupid news on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
All right, we ought to start today's report with something brand new to be terrified of. It is, as a matter of fact, it is the spooky season. Is that the new term for Halloween? I've heard that a few times now.
Yeah, it's been a couple years running.
Has it been a movement now for a couple years to call it the spooky season?
Oh, crap.
That's so silly. What's happening over there, Josh?
I'm trying to remember. I think I might have put that in a commercial. I'll have to make a change. I can't remember. I know I considered it. I don't remember if I went through with it or not.
I don't like the sound of that. You sound like you're 5 years old. What? So there's a problem with saying Halloween, right? Because some people think it's too evil or something?
I don't know. I guess I don't know if it just started that way.
I don't like it.
It could be. I mean, you're right. Certain places don't say Halloween.
Right.
For, some folks don't appreciate it.
At any rate, not that this story has a Halloween vibe to it at all. I just had to have a little side tantrum there because I keep hearing ads saying, it's the spooky season, so run on out. It just doesn't, it's not ringing well for me. This is not a Halloween-y type of story, but it is a frightening story. It is a frightening thought, and it's brand new to me. This kind of thing has never crossed my mind. What I'm talking about is having your heart explode inside your chest while masturbating.
Oh, man, that's a serious masturbation session.
Sometimes it can be exhausting. If it's just not working for whatever reason, you got to really put some effort into it, and yeah, you can get out of breath. Maybe your heart explodes.
Need a nap after?
There you are, sick infidel that you are. You're wailing on yourself, molesting your own body like a damn animal, and your heart pops like a zit on prom night inside your chest. It just gives way on you, and suddenly you're seconds away from death because you slut, couldn't keep your hands off yourself. Wouldn't you feel like a damned fool, Josh, if the last thing you did before death was rub one out like a damn 7th grader?
Yep.
I'd feel foolish as well.
I feel like the hanging whack's worse, though.
Because
Definitely.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Well, yeah, you're hanging and whacking.
And you went to extremes to masturbate, which for most of us is pretty easy.
As far as I know, this individual I'm about to tell you the story about, he was just traditionally, of course, you're hanging and whacking. That Wapple, that doesn't even need to be said.
Update, I didn't put in a commercial.
Dang, I was kind of hoping you did.
Yeah, I kind of was too for the bit, but no, it's not in there.
It saved you a lot of time.
It sure did.
A lot of time.
A 59-year-old man. Now, number one, that's too old for masturbation.
You think so?
It's too old. Find a partner or just leave that damn thing alone once you hit 59 years old.
Is that the cutoff, or does it come earlier than that?
Earlier.
Like, where is it at? So I'm 49. If I decided, I'm going to masturbate, can I do that at 49?
No, yes, 50's the cutoff.
Oh, so is 50 my last year of it, or I just have a couple months left?
You have a couple months left, and then you are officially too old for masturbation.
So on my 50th birthday, I'm done.
Yes, you are.
Man, whack it while you can, Josh.
Well, since you said so.
A 59-year-old man, I believe from Ireland, tore a damn artery in his heart while tugging one loose. That's terrible.
This cutoff on masturbation, I got a question. I got more questions. Is this only for men? are you cool with women masturbating at 50 and over?
It's only for men.
Okay. I was hoping that'd be the rule.
So this guy, he was pulling at his gear like a kid. He felt some tightness in his jaw and tingling in his hands. He called an Irish ambulance. And when he got to the hospital, the doctors told the dumb bastard that he had torn a hole in his aorta with all his silly jagging off.
When you say, I mean, maybe you're just so desperate and, you know, your body's failing. I'd say I was on a treadmill or doing a Stairmaster or something like that.
Yeah, you know, this guy, maybe the real Irish have no shame. I don't know. Yeah, I'd probably,
although we're
at
different.
59 years old, I'd probably spin a story as well.
I would be feeling fine right now. I'm thinking I'd spin a story. But, you know, like you and I are different. You are you have a strict policy of lying to doctors.
Oh, absolutely. And I encourage others, never, ever tell your doctor the full truth.
I see, I'm the opposite. Figure, well, I'm here, I want to get this thing fixed, whatever it is. So I probably would say I was masturbating.
Never tell the doctor the full truth. Never be totally honest. I mean, this is the way I want to go. I want to go in front of my doctor, and I'm clutching my chest, and the last thing I say is, I'm fine. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm not even going to admit there's something wrong. Anyway.
Well, knowing me as you do, let's say I'm in this position, right? Let's say I violate the new rule I just learned. I'm 52 years old, and I decide to have a masturbate. You know my material. Would
your masturbation
the spank
material?
bank. Yeah, you know what's
your
going on.
spank bank, sure.
Yeah. What's more embarrassing, admitting that I was doing that at 52 years old and that's what made my heart explode, or admitting that my wife was in my thoughts?
The wife is number one. I cannot wrap my head around that.
Hey, I've got supporters that text in and said, hey, their spouses who they think about too. I can equate the two quite easily.
And there are a lot of people that agreed with you, too, saying they also think about your wife when they do it.
You son of a bitch. I thought we were friends.
If you don't have a porno movie in front of you, you know, just the old school fantasization, right? Did I say that word correctly?
It works. I know. I like that you said it.
Just old school, you just close your eyes and think about someone. If that's all you got, why would you think about someone who's readily available to you at all times?
Because it's more practical or more like believable in your head.
That's how I look at it.
Yeah, because I definitely I'm with you, Josh. I don't think it's that weird.
You have a thing about
times.
Well, I better be practical about this. What the heck? That's even more weird.
Because I can't imagine like somebody like Ashton Kutcher, because I don't know what he's got going on.
That's so bizarre. Well, I'm going to fantasize here and I'm going to masturbate, but I don't want it to be too ridiculous. That would be breaking some kind of... What's the matter with both of you?
Maybe I don't have that much of an imagination.
Well,
give me a break.
That's what I've always said. Like in my imagination, Cher and I, we have a wonderful dinner. Wonderful. We're talking.
You and Cher?
Me and Cher.
Yes.
Yeah. And then she's like, would you like to come back to my 17,000 square foot mansion? And I say, oh, yeah, yes, I would. And then she takes me up to the boudoir where I bet a lot of men have been. And turns me down. You see, I can't. There's no way I could think.
I don't understand either one of you.
What happened?
All right. Maybe you need to lower your fantasization level down.
I have.
Somebody more realistic.
He has. He's thinking about his wife.
Like a celebrity that's a lot less good looking.
Okay, so like a reality TV. Well, I don't understand what you mean.
What I think I could get.
Yeah,
somebody that's attainable.
Exactly.
Oh, so
think of a celebrity that's very attainable to you.
Don't think about Cher.
Yeah.
Think about like the gal that does the siding commercials on television. Is that what you're saying?
Oh, I want the Lumi lady.
I do too.
Yeah. She's probably unattainable.
Who do you think about when you masturbate? Oh, have you seen the gal doing the car ads for Brookdale Dodge. Yeah. Well, why her? Well, I don't want it to be too ridiculous, you know.
Do you guys remember?
I wanted someone who's attainable.
Do you remember juror number 2 in A Few Good Men? That's who I'm going.
Right.
I want the dude that's back in the farthest part of the scene over there, just kind of sipping a coffee in the corner.
It's just the silliest thing I've ever heard to fantasize about your significant other. I don't. But Josh, I'm not surprised that comes from you because you are the straightest lace character in town. Ashley watches all kinds of wild porno movies. Blood turns her on. But when it comes time for her to jill off, she says, well, I'm going to be practical about this. Not Ashton Kutcher. I'll think about, what's your boyfriend's name? Lawrence?
Yeah.
I'll think about Lawrence again, who will be home in a half hour to have sex with me. Live a little, will you?
That's a good point.
Well,
Good Lord.
You mentioned porn. You should be watching porn, you're saying. So, but here's the thing. So I've never been into it, as you know. And I'm not against it. I know everybody watches it. It's just
you are too against it.
I am not.
I saw you at that rally.
I thought I was in line for a new Chipotle. I didn't know it was a rally for that.
He did think it was Chipotle.
Like, oh, wait a minute. We're protesting this. Yeah, I mean, if everybody's consenting, of age, all that kind, whatever you know, that's your thing. It's not up to me to say what you're into. But
right.
So, the reason I mention it is the most prolific porn, and I don't mean any offense to you or Ashley. I think I know somebody who's more into it.
Okay.
And I've told you this before. He has to, before finishing, close the browser window because of the guilt he feels if it's still running when he's done, if you follow me.
Sure.
Oh, okay.
So I think if I have so much guilt, if he has to do that, then there's no way I could handle it. Absolutely no way. Where are you guys at? Do you have to close a browser window?
No, not at all.
I want to see how it ends, Josh.
Me and Madison Ivy have been together for a very long time.
Madison,
Wow.
who's that?
Wow.
Does she have a specialty? Or she plays a mom, or does she have a regular thing?
I guess she, does do kind of MILF stuff.
I have no shame, but I'm 53 years old now. I'm not a masturbator.
You just watch it for the love of the game now.
Well, now that you mention it, does Dana know this about me or not?
I don't know if you've said this since you've
This
been
was
here.
a fact that through some of our former coworkers this was a former female coworker here. Made a what's the word? It's a big word. Made a suggestion that anytime a guy watches a porno, he's just using two hands on himself like a seventh grader, right? Mm-hmm. And I said
that's what I always thought too. I didn't think people watched it for any other reason.
And plenty of women also that I've known over the years, they thought as soon as we dudes walk into a strip joint, instant erection.
I remember you saying that one.
So to clear up some of this misinformation, I said, and this isn't anything new, for many, many, many years, I can watch a porno movie and just sit and watch a porno movie. Years ago, I'm also not as prolific with my porn as I used to be. A lot has changed. I've gotten older. But that information through a few women that I've known, because I don't know, I mean, I can't blame them. We do usually come off like just big, dumb, uncontrollable animals.
Hello.
What?
Oh, I usually watch it to get stuff done.
Oh, okay. Yeah. But, yeah, so that was information that was new to...
I bet you're in the minority there.
Yeah, I would
think
too.
so.
Yeah, like probably quite a bit in the minority.
Yeah, okay, that's
I know
fine.
there's other people out there that are the same, because you brought it up before and other people said, I'm kind of the same way. Sometimes I might just watch it.
What the hell?
Yeah.
I got some buddies that I know for sure do that.
No, you don't. I'm the only one.
Okay.
All right, back to this guy again. 59-year-old man.
You think it's too old to be masturbating?
Too old to be masturbating. He has this massive heart episode, and he damn near died. He tore his aorta, goes to the hospital, and that's a real medical emergency, don't you know? Doctors told him if he hadn't gone into the hospital right away, he might have dropped or the next day woken up dead. He got real lucky as well in a way. Normally, if you tear a new hole in your aortas, it's a real adventure. Most folks get sharp, ripping pain in their chest and back, shortness of breath, heavy sweating, confusion, stomach pain, you puke, and then you're out cold. For whatever reason, this lucky Irishman didn't have any of those problems. He just had the tingly fingers and a pain in his jaw. Now, says here, the day before he almost went from whip-off to instant death, the day before he ran a 3-mile, he went on a 3-mile jog the day before. So there you go. I'd say if you're older than 30, don't jog and then jag on back-to-back days.
I thought about jogging yesterday and then thought twice about it.
Don't do that.
Why would you think about jogging?
Because we took the dogs out later than we normally did, and I didn't want to be out super long. So I thought, well, maybe if we jog, we'll get them all tired. And then I thought, I can't jog at my age.
Oh, that's a terrible idea.
I lost a foot race to a 9-year-old once, so there's no way I'm going to... I realized quite quickly that jogging is going to be stupid, especially when I have a 145-pound dog pulling me.
There is absolutely nobody that I could beat in a foot race. Okay, this guy, the 59-year-old, he's fine. He's going to make it. Says here he was still pretty dizzy the next day. The day after they fixed his heart for him, he was still dizzy, so doctors watched him masturbate a few times there at the hospital before they cut him loose.
That's pretty cool. That's good insurance right there.
As gross as all this is, and wrong, I'm sorry to tell you that this is not an isolated incident. There was another older fella, I don't know where this guy was, but if you look in the medical record books, you'll see the 59-year-old whose heart exploded, and also a 60-year-old dude. He also damn near died from jacking off right there at the public library.
That's where it happens.
So come on, older dudes, put that little acorn away. You're too old for tossing off.
Yeah, chill out.
I'm surprised at you, Ashley. You're always a don't yuck someone else's yum. I don't really like that phrase, but you say that, or keep your eye on your own bobber, but you're shaming older masturbators. I'd be very, like, okay, maybe I don't want to know, but you're going to reach that age someday. I mean, maybe not with your consumption
Yeah,
issues.
hopefully not. I mean, that's not the goal.
But so you think at that age it's just be ridiculous even if you're doing that?
Yeah, it's just, I don't know.
But you think old people like me and Nick are gross?
No, you guys aren't old enough for me to think you guys are gross. It's more like, for some reason, like I just think of my dad if it's anybody over the age of like 55.
I think I'm still pretty hot.
I totally agree.
think I'm still pretty hot.
I think she's crazy.
I think I'm still really hot.
Really, really hot.
Dude, you're not alone. A lot of people think that. How about this from Southside Jesus on the idea of thinking of your significant other? You make a movie with your significant other, guilt-free porn, he says.
Yeah?
Yeah, then you got to see yourself, though.
Yeah,
No,
I
you
don't think
don't.
I could do that.
No, you don't.
Oh, yeah, I guess that's a good point.
Yeah, no.
Depends on where you're holding the camera.
I would
Yes,
I'd
sir.
still know.
All right, Josh.
It'd be like listening to myself on the radio. I just can't do it. Oh,
It's different. Give it a shot. I promise it's great.
All right, Josh. I have possibly a more realistic fantasy girl for you.
Who's that now?
You said earlier, and I can't wrap my head around this kind of logic. He said earlier, fantasizing about a lady other than your wife when you're masturbating, you don't go along with that because it has to be a realistic, it has to be someone who's attainable.
For me personally, yeah.
So we had an idea, well, maybe don't think about Cher or Nancy Reagan or whoever. I can't think of another celebrity. Make it more realistic, Josh. So what do you think about Flo from the Progressive Insurance commercials?
You know, there is something about her.
Yes, there is.
But I have a feeling she's like, what do they call those? The ones that won't let you finish. Is there a term for that?
A blue baller?
like edging makes you edge.
Yeah, I thought there was
The
like a
ones?
term for someone who, like a
I don't
person
know that.
does. She seems like that to me. Like you're like, okay, here we go, that's gonna work, and then she just punches you in the face.
Oh God, I don't know
Doesn't
that.
she seem very dominating? There's something about her.
Good question. I guess I haven't sized her up as thoroughly as maybe I should have. I don't know this kink. This what? Women who won't let you finish and then what?
I don't know. Shoot, a buddy of mine was telling me that there's a whole thing. Well,
I'm sure someone can text it in.
Well, if he's listening, let me know. Bitch nips. Text me. Let me know what you were talking about. If we're gonna, I like the Jake from State Farm. That guy. Although he's unattainable.
Yeah, no chance
with those lats. There's no way he'd be interested.
Okay, Josh, is the term milkers?
Maybe that's what it is.
Someone texted in simply the word milkers. This is someone from Idaho, if that matters at all to you. I don't know anything about that, how do you call it, kink.
There's a lot of people. Yeah, not
I'm about ready to finish, he says. No, you're not.
I haven't given you permission.
All right. Oh, the ones who need permission. Now, that sounds more familiar.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about.
Okay. I don't know what the hell that is. I don't want any part of it, I'll tell you that. Did you hear about the 7-year-old Chinese kid? Did you hear?
I've heard. Yeah, I think I know where you're going here, so I'll say yes. But if you would ask me that question, otherwise, I'd say no. There's probably a lot of them.
This is cute. Just a little bastard. 7-year-old. All right. Everywhere the kid has gone for the last 2 years, he's been all like, what is that smell? Damn, man, something really reeks. The kid's been complaining about smelling straight up ass for 2 years, but he's the only one who smells it. And what's the old saying, Josh, about smelling it?
Whoever smelt it, dealt it. But then, I said that once, and someone said, whoever made the rhyme did the crime, and I was stuck.
Yeah, that wasn't fair. That's a mind F right there.
Especially because they also rhymed.
I'm sorry?
Especially because they also rhymed.
God darn it, I never thought of that. Ashley, you're brilliant. I needed you.
7-year-old kid. After 2 years of a terrible smell bothering this kid everywhere as he goes, doctors found out that he had a rotting, rusting, mucus-covered metal screw in one of his damn nose holes.
Oh, gross.
He's been telling his folks for 2 years that he smells deep-fried ass. And they've been telling him to shut his yap because they didn't smell anything. His folks ignored him. They told him to shut it. He was driving them effing nuts. Do you smell that? No, I don't smell that. Shut up.
Yeah, I've had a similar situation, actually, and it turns out I had a nose infection. Do you even know that's a thing?
A nose infection?
Yeah, I had like a sinus infection that somehow like there was whatever is in an infection was in my nose. And yeah, it was like it's terrible. Well, I won't describe it because it was gross, but it was a bad smell, and I kept thinking like I thought something died in our house.
Crazy.
Butters had the same problem when he went to Aspen.
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't remember that episode of
I
Summer.
don't know what you're talking
What
about.
happened?
Yeah, a little poo underneath his nose.
Everything just kept smelling like poo everywhere he went in Aspen.
Oh, I've had that happen. Yeah.
Yeah, I hate that story.
Yeah, I probably shouldn't tell it again, but
Yeah.
I've had that happen. Yeah, I got it in a really cool way.
Oh, I forgot about that.
It was whoever denied it supplied it. That's the other one. Thank you, Australian.
There's
Jesus.
all kinds of fart rhymes out there. So again, this kid's folks finally snapped and took him to a doctor. Okay, for 2 years he'd been whining about how something smells. We don't smell a damn thing. They take him to the doctor. The doctor saw something up there, up his nose. They couldn't see what it was. It was way the hell up there. The doctors were worried that if they tried to, punch it out of there, whatever it was, that they might end up stabbing this kid in his brain pan and killing him. They ended up having to crack this kid's face open and found that old screw up in there. Says here it was surrounded by pus. Both kinds of pus, wet and dry.
Oh, my gosh.
You want to know what else was in there?
I guess.
Nasal secretions. You want to know what else? Blood.
Anything else?
Well, screw. Are you not listening to the story?
He doesn't listen to the story.
When I was dating my wife, my stepson had put a coin up his nose, and she almost couldn't get it out, so she thought she was going to have to take him to the ER with that. A buddy of mine in 6th grade ate a couple of Legos, and I remember when they said, "Oh, it'll pass," I thought, that is the cool. It made me want to eat Legos almost, because when they said it's just going to come out.
Oh, not those Legos in particular.
Oh, not those particular
Good
ones.
Lord.
Yeah, some different Legos.
You just wanted that cool experience of pooping Legos?
Yeah, the doctors were like, "Yeah, no big deal. Nature will take its course." And I thought, wouldn't that be a fun surprise?
Finally, some red in my turds that doesn't horrify my mother.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
You got to be worried then if you just get a 2x4, and you put a 2x4 in and you get a 2x2 out. That's when you have to be worried.
Or else it's fully assembled on the way out.
That'd be a talented Lego builder.
All right, so the wonderful news about this little kid who had the screw up his nose, the doctors pulled it loose. He's made a full recovery. He no longer constantly smells unmitigated anal wherever he goes. He's a happy little character. The story never gets into any detail on how the screw got slapped up into this kid's nose portal. The story simply closes out by warning parents to keep an eye on their children because many of them are stupid and will never amount to anything.
That's true for some. Whoever said it, let it. I've never heard that one. From You Picked Him Up, You Dropped Him, Jesus. Whoever refuted it, tooted it.
I didn't realize it went this far.
Yeah.
It's like I'm back on the school bus again.
If the S don't fit, you must acquit.
Oh, that's good. That's
geez,
great.
Jesus.
That's the best one right there.
You ever take a dog for a walk with one of those, retractable dog leashes?
Yes, sir.
Never a retractable one, no.
This is a hell of a deal right here. It is. A gal had a, quote, freak accident with her dog's retractable leash, and the eye fell out.
No.
The eye fell out. Poor gal's name is Daniela. She's 24 years old and a spicy little pickle, like Rita Moreno.
Yeah.
The story goes like this
agree with
here. Yeah, it's Daniela. I think I said the name right. She has a dog, by damn she does. Or she did. She and her 60-pound husky dog, a dog called Blue, they were on a walk ski. Out of nowhere, stupid Blue, the dog, spotted a damn rabbit. The old retractable leash that Daniela was using on Blue gave way when Blue went a-running for the rabbit. The leash came snapping back at Daniela, and it smoked her smooth in one of her eye sockets.
I can see that happening to me.
And the eye fell out. Well, it didn't fall out right away. She said it happened fast. She knew it was bad immediately. The force of the leash was traumatic. Her eyeball sprung a leak. Lots of blood, by God. Lots of blood. She ran screaming home to her parents. She was losing blood, and eventually she passed out. An ambulance took her to the hospital. When they got there, the doctors saw that the leash had split open her eyelid for her. She had a fracture under her eye, a detached retina. The pain was 10 out of 10, she said. She went straight into surgery, but her right eye was a goner. She was declared permanently blind in that eye.
Wow.
Doctors tried this and they tried that, but eventually they said to pull the dead eye smooth out of her noggin.
I don't know if I would be a dog person anymore after something like that.
Oh, I think you definitely would. Knowing
Yeah,
you
who am I
as
kidding?
do.
But that would be hard to get over for a little bit. Like I would need,
She had a terrible time.
I would need maybe a day or two before I look at that dog again.
She had a terrible time, having to adapt to life as a one-eyed person. And also she had migraine headaches and anxiety and panic attacks. It was her neighbors created a GoFundMe type of a setup for her, and that money's helped her with the recovery. She was fitted with a prosthetic eyeball, and she's going to try to move on with her life. Her dog Blue was put down by animal control officers.
That's not true. The dogs always end up dying in your stories.
Sports on the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Mikey, if you can last more than 4 rounds with me, I'll give you an extra $5 million. But if you don't, then you have to get a tattoo that says I love Jake Paul.
All right, that's the latest on the fake patty cake boxing match that is apparently still going to happen between that little YouTube kid, Jake Paul, and former boxing champion turned regretful old man Mike Tyson. The little YouTube kid, Jake, he said that he would give Mike Tyson an additional $5 million if Mike can last more than 4 rounds when the two face off in this fake 8-round fight coming up middle of November. But if Tyson doesn't last 5 rounds, Mike needs to get a tattoo that says, I love Jake's Paul. That's according to the poor bastard journalists who are certainly unhappy to have to cover this silly event. Imagine, Josh, if you worked at ESPN or something, they said, all right, Donnie, we're sending you to cover the league championship series in Major League Baseball. Eddie, you got the NHL season opening. Cover that. Cubby, you're going to do the Jake Paul, Mike Tyson fake patty cake boxing. You go, no, I've worked all my life. I'm a journalist.
I would do something drastic.
If you work at ESPN in like 1998 or in 1988 and they said cover Mike Tyson, that'd be like a dream.
Dude.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome. But yeah, now fighting an internet celebrity. And I know the dude can bring it, right? Jake Paul, right? These guys can fight.
Oh, yeah?
But well, that's what I've been told. Anytime we bring it up, people say, no, they can fight.
No, he can't.
I don't know. My thought is he probably can't, but people say he's legit. Let us know. 651-989-9393 if you follow this kind of stuff.
His brother's a good wrestler.
Mm-hmm. Doesn't he do WWE stuff?
Yeah, Logan.
Yeah, he's legit good.
But I remember the first time this idea popped up, I thought, oh, my God, Jake Paul's going to die, fighting Mike Tyson. I know he's older, but...
not that.
Dude, same.
Sorry,
Come on.
I'm kidding.
But Mike Tyson, obviously he's not 1988 Mike Tyson, but he's insane. I mean, I could see him pulling out a spear or something.
He's not that guy anymore. He's not even close to that guy anymore.
Well,
sure, you could say that about Mike 35 years ago, that he's absolutely unpredictable. Not anymore. Come on. See, that's what folks who are pushing this joke of a fight, that's the narrative they're pushing. Oh, you never know, Mike's so unpredictable. Yes, he is at this point in his life. He is.
He smoked too much weed to be unpredictable at this point.
He's so friggin' mellow and it's not even worth getting into.
So
Mike
brother
Tyson,
and sister, they're checking in saying, yeah, Jake Paul is legit.
Yeah, he's 9-10 with 6 knockouts.
9-10.
Yep.
Does Mike Tyson really need $5 million?
No, 9 wins, 9 wins in 10 fights.
Oh,
yeah. But who has he fought? You see, when I consider who's a legit boxer and who isn't, I compare those people to actual professionals from throughout the years.
Yeah, that's how I feel about it, too.
Who has Jake Paul boxed?
People are kind of saying that, right?
Who has he fought? An MMA guy, another former guy, an older guy.
I want to. There's that big boxer Tyson Fury. He's super good at boxing. I think his brother
good at boxing.
Yeah, Tyson Fury. He's really, really good at boxing.
You're good at hot boxing, Wapple.
Thank you. But then I think his younger brother fought Jake Paul.
Here's the good news. I couldn't possibly care less.
Medical Device Jesus said he's a decent amateur boxer, but the one and only time he boxed a pro, he got beat fairly easily.
Oh, okay.
This is so silly. It's such a shame what boxing has become. Okay, we got to get the hell out of here. Big league playoffs. We'll cover that in a half hour when Randy Shaver and Brad Ryder roll in here. The Lynx, Peterborough lost last night, so as of now, the Lynx are in the WNBA Finals. We'll talk to Marcus Foligno for the first time this hockey season. Yeah. Also at 7:30. We got to get going. Josh's news is coming up.
Half-assed morning show.
They're loud, they lose control, they do their little circus act. They're a nuisance.
93X.
Our technicians are geared up and ready to make sure your system is running reliably this winter. Regular maintenance from Standard Heating and Air Conditioning helps prevent costlier breakdowns in the future, and we know they always happen at the worst time.
Hey, I Ashley here. Get your home ready for winter. Schedule your furnace tune-up with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning and save $30. Have a boiler? Save $40 on your boiler tune-up. Visit standardheating.com to book and lock in your savings. Stay cozy, stay ready.
You met Lala Kent on Vanderpump Rules. Now Lala and her friends share everything on Give Them Lala.
Baby S is giving me money-making moves in the room.
Yeah. So I'm going to have one kid who's like, I want to just live in a box and do like artistic dancing and paint. Ocean's going to be like, it doesn't matter if I'm broke, Mom. I'm passionate about it. And Baby S is going to be the one that says passion doesn't pay bills, Ocean.
Watch what Lala is talking about on YouTube or search for Give Them Lala wherever you listen.
Half-assed morning show. 93X.
That door open, you can clearly see it right there. That passenger ready to jump out. Well, jump out, just kind of got out of the car. Standing there, I'm sure it's one of those officers who's going to ask that lady if she needs a little help and maybe have some information about that driver.
In a wild whirlwind on the streets of Los Angeles, what started as a routine traffic stop spiraled into a chaotic car chase, with one passenger practically saying, "Forget this," nearly leaping out mid-chase. The incident began when the driver behind the wheel of a stolen car pulled over for police like everything was fine, until he suddenly decided to make a break for it, sending the situation into full-speed frenzy. But the real drama was the passenger's gutsy gamble. Clearly desperate to escape, the passenger cracked open the front door and dangled their legs out as the car barreled down the road, seemingly sizing up their chances to jump ship while riding shotgun. As the chase dragged on, the tension mounted. Footage showed the passenger growing more anxious with each passing moment, clearly rethinking the decision to hitch a ride with their reckless buddy. Eventually, the driver bailed on foot, leading police on a rather impressive foot chase. But eventually, he ran out of gas and was arrested when he couldn't run any further. While police are still piecing together whether the friend knew the car was stolen or played any part in that crime, they're likely second-guessing their friendship after the dangerous ride.
They have fun out there in Los Angeles.
Didn't you say once, Nick, you were in a car where something was going on and you thought about jumping out? Maybe it was an argument, or maybe I'm thinking of somebody else.
Boy, doesn't ring a bell.
I thought maybe it wasn't. It must not have been you. Somebody
thought about jumping out just because it was so obnoxious or so frustrating. Oh,
Tuck and roll.
You're probably right, and I just can't recall. Well, you know, me and the friggin' wife many years ago, before we were married, we were just going to high school together at the time. We got thrown out of a moving vehicle. That wasn't. I can't say that was something I want to do again.
Oh, I can't imagine.
The driver took a right, and me and the friggin' future wife, the driver took a left, me and the future wife took a right out the passenger door. She got it worse than me. I was a great athlete, so I kind of contorted my body in midair and got into kind of a tuck and roll position, where she, being no sort of an athlete of any way, shape, or form, just kind of splatted onto the to the road. It was hilarious.
Just like a belly flop on the pavement.
Yeah, she looked really stupid doing it too.
Is that why her nose is just 2 inches above her forehead?
Yeah.
It just ground right up there.
It was a hell of a scene. We had some fun with that one. What was we were fine in the end. I mean, we were pretty beat up, the two of us. We were lucky it wasn't way worse. But maybe you had to be there. But the driver could not stop crying.
Oh, I think I'd be bawling if I just made two friends fall out.
You know, we kept saying, we're fine. Look at us. We're fine. Everything's going to be fine. These things happen. He just sat there the rest of the night. It scared him pretty good.
A wasted Washington man decided to turn a life-threatening situation into a photo op. He was arrested and charged with DUI after the vehicle he was driving erupted into flames last week, and his first thought was to get out and take a selfie. Washington State Department of Transportation traffic cameras captured a burning RAV4 on the shoulder of I-5 in Everett before 2 a.m. Friday. Moments before crews arrived to extinguish that fire, the man appeared to stumble out to the far right lane, hold up a phone, and snap a selfie with the fire raging in the background, which police appreciated because it gave them time to respond and take him into custody. Too drunk to realize that maybe taking a selfie in front of an inferno was a bad idea, and then too dumb to stick around long enough for the cavalry to arrive, The driver was arrested at the scene for suspicion of driving under the influence and resisting arrest. Authorities are investigating how that fire began. It was Ta-Ta Tuesday at the Minnesota Supreme Court yesterday as the state's top law dogs drove into questions about public nudity and whether a woman's upper half should really be treated differently than a man's in the eyes of the law.
See, I thought this had been dealt with already.
Yeah, so I did as well. Maybe it's just not a statewide thing. Maybe it's that certain cities are saying,
So,
yeah, go ahead.
Whether or not ladies can go topless on the street just like an ode.
Yeah.
All right.
The issue was raised after a woman was convicted for releasing a rack at a Rochester gas station. Her lawyer argued the conviction was a bust because breasts aren't classified as private parts under the indecent exposure statute. She didn't expose a prohibited part of her body, so her conviction in this particular case has to be reversed, he said. The whole thing started when she was caught bare-chested in a gas station parking lot, which led to a conviction for indecent exposure, not to mention a side note of drug possession. She did 90 days in jail for the flashing incident and challenged the ruling, saying she had the same right to bare her chest as any man. The appeals court wasn't buying it, with 2 out of 3 judges basically saying, nah, it's still indecent exposure to show off those yard donkeys in public. But one dissenting judge seemed to think the case was a little bit more than what was originally said, and now the state Supreme Court has been asked to weigh in on the warlocks.
I got to catch a glimpse of these warlocks.
Her defense pointed out that she wasn't doing anything lewd, just taking a little stroll on the parking lot. He even suggested that maybe the law should stick more to vagina or penis-y matters and leave breasts out of it, saying that's indecent exposure, not boobs. But the county attorney was firm on this one, noting past rulings say it's indecent for women to go topless in public. Yeah, like you, Nick, when I saw this yesterday, I thought, well, I thought this was all said and done. But maybe that's just citywide. Like Minneapolis, right? Isn't that okay to do there?
I have no idea.
So.
I swear we've talked about that before.
No idea. Topless gal at a gas station in Rochester. But Josh knows this. It's always been pretty easy to get a girl topless in Rochester.
Minnesota legislators are tripping on the idea of psychedelic mushrooms. The state's Psychedelic Medicine Task Force just gave the green light to recommend decriminalization of these magic fungi, meaning people could soon use them without the buzzkill of worrying about getting arrested. Researchers suggested legalizing could help create a safer, regulated market for consumers. One expert highlighted the importance of regulations to ensure product safety, citing issues with some psychoactive products that have led to hospitalizations.
Public safety would involve regulation so people know what they're getting. People aren't being sold things that don't have what they say they are, like we're seeing with these diamond shrooms.
There's also growing curiosity about the potential of other psychedelics like MDMA and LSD to help treat conditions like post-traumatic stress disorder. The task force has finished drafting its recommendations and will present its report to the legislature in January.
All right, I don't know Dick Tracy about psychedelic mushrooms, and I know more and more we read stories of their benefits, but wasn't it just a couple weeks ago, last week, we talked about a dude who took some psychedelic mushrooms, and then he cut off his penis.
Yes.
And then he still had the knife in his hand. After he cut off his penis, he then sectioned it out.
Yep.
Do you follow what I'm... He cut it up into...
Jarred it up.
And then he put it in jars, and then he went wandering through the neighborhood screaming for help.
You got to take it in little doses. I'm sure that guy just went balls to the wall.
Well, in the
He's like,
story,
"Let's eat this all."
if you were listening to the story and you were here, the story said he took too much. All I'm saying is this stuff still makes me a little squirrely.
Yeah, I mean,
the thought of taking it makes me feel a little squirrely.
There's certainly research out there that says it's a lifesaver for some people, so they're trying to figure it out. A woman in Pennsylvania is facing serious charges after police say she attacked her boyfriend with a knife because he refused to hand over her anti-anxiety medication. Police responded to a domestic dispute just after 1 a.m. at an apartment complex. When they arrived, they found the man with a deep cut in his throat and injuries to his hands.
That is a very deep cut.
The victim told police he woke up to find his girlfriend, 43-year-old Rebecca Edwards, standing over him with a kitchen knife pressed against his throat. Edwards demanded the pills, which he had given her before. She allegedly threatened, "I'm going to kill you," before cutting him. Despite the attack, the man managed to disarm her, but Edwards grabbed another knife and continued slashing, this time injuring his hands in the process.
Was this one a real knife or another butter knife? If someone comes at me with a butter knife, I'm going to think, oh, we're having toast. You know what I mean?
She reportedly admitted to the stabbing, saying it was over that medication.
She was able to do some damage with the butter knife?
Well, it was a kitchen knife, so it could have been
I'm
a steak
sorry.
knife.
I thought I heard butter knife, and now I'm regretful.
Sometimes crappy decisions leave you knee-deep in poop, like 24-year-old Sheldon Badger, who found himself sulking in a Canadian septic tank after trying and then failing to take on the cops. RCMP officers attempted to arrest a person named Prentice Bauman. Badger, who was with Bauman, ran into the woods, aimed a sawed-off firearm at an officer, yelled obscenities, and then opened fire. An officer using a vehicle for cover returned fire at Badger, who continued shooting but eventually fled. Luckily, no one was injured, though a nearby house was hit by a stray bullet. Badger was found later hiding in a septic tank. Ah, glamorous.
That's a life.
Along with the gun he used, leaving him both literally and metaphorically in deep S. Police say it was the most embarrassing thing to happen to a Badger since the Gophers handed the Badgers a devastating 63-0 nut punch in 1890, which is still the most lopsided defeat in Wisconsin football history.
In 1890?
1890.
Man, they were athletes back then, weren't they?
That was the pinnacle of football.
On Monday, a suspicious object resembling a grenade at the Red Wing Waste campus led to an emergency response. City officials said staff at the facility spotted the item on the sorting line and called in emergency teams. Fortunately, after inspecting it, first responders confirmed the object was harmless and posed no danger to the public. Authorities haven't yet identified what exactly the object was, only that it gave off some gnarly grenade-y vibes at first glance. If you've got stained or chipped teeth,
yes,
you might be thinking about veneers.
Oh.
Custom-made covers that can give you a Hollywood smile without going through a bunch of serious dental work. But before you book that appointment, there's something dentists want you to know. There's a sketchy trend going around online that could cost you more than your smile. Self-described veneer techs often promote themselves on Instagram and TikTok, promising a full set of veneers for less than half of what a dentist might charge. Some also market their own training courses and certification for people looking to get into the business, but they have no business doing so.
Uh-oh.
Police say, or dentists, I should say it's misleading, and health professionals warn it's also totally illegal. Across the board, it's the law. Any dental work, including veneers, needs to be done under the supervision of a licensed dentist. Getting veneers isn't as simple as popping on a new set of teeth, they said. The process involves removing some of your natural enamel before bonding the veneers in place, and once that enamel's gone, it's gone for good. The American Dental Association has been ramping up warnings about the dangers of letting unlicensed people mess with your teeth. Earlier this year, law enforcement in Illinois arrested a woman running a business called Veneer Experts, and tell you what, there were no experts involved.
Oh, no.
She was caught on camera fitting braces, veneers, and other dental products without a license, and it wasn't her first dental debacle. She'd been busted in Nevada for the exact same thing.
Well, I'll be dipped.
That would definitely give me pause. Even if you're going to save some money, I think I don't want to get veneers in a van somewhere.
There are other ways to save some cash.
Yeah, I agree. Maybe you spend the money on that, but you start buying generic versions of Raisin Bran or something for a while.
Hey, Cubby, can I ask you a question about something that probably doesn't matter for Dick? When you said TikTok, you said TikTok.
Yeah, I did.
Why did you say it that way?
I was trying to race through it.
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought maybe there was a bit I was unfamiliar
no,
with.
just, kind of being goofy.
Please don't leave me in the dark when it comes to bits.
No, I won't.
Okay,
Yeah, there's
good.
nothing.
I thought maybe it was a bit.
No, not a bit at
Because
all.
most folks would say TikTok.
Yeah.
You said.
I'm not most folks.
Yeah.
TikTok.
He's a TikTok.
Yeah, TikTok.
Yeah.
After a heated Final Four showdown, I never would have thought that would have went anywhere. But it did, didn't it?
Yeah.
TikTok. After a heated Final Four showdown, the people have spoken, and you betcha, 3M's Scotch Magic Tape has officially snagged the title of coolest thing made in Minnesota. The trusty product.
That's really a hell of an accomplishment there.
Oh, it's pretty well used worldwide.
The coolest thing ever made in Minnesota, huh?
It triumphed in a contest designed to celebrate the state's rich history of innovation, don't you know? The Coolest Thing Made in Minnesota contest, put on by the Minnesota Chamber of Commerce and BMO, is all about shining a light on the state's knack for creating unique, economy-boosting products. In a great way to remind the world, Minnesota's got way more than just lakes and hot dish. Minnesota has always been a hub of innovation, producing products that make a real difference in people's lives, the Chamber's president said. This year's finalists truly represent the best our state has to offer, he said. Scotch Magic Tape managed to beat out some tough competition, including Action Manufacturing's Action Track Chair, Red Wing Shoe Company's Beckman Boot, and Midwest Floating Islands National Aquarium Wetland.
That's what Scotch Tape beat out?
Yeah, that's what the Final Four was.
Well,
Go Scotch Tape.
What are other things that have been made here?
Rollerblades.
Okay.
I like that you know that off the top of your head.
Isn't the Nerf football made here?
I believe I've heard that
All right,
before.
the Nerf football, sure. Fred Cox. You could make some jokes. Bob Dylan, I'm talking.
Next, the band that did the song Too Close about a boner on the dance floor.
Oh, yeah.
I remember the song about the boner on a dance floor by a group called Next, and I remember that disturbed you.
Well, I don't pay attention to lyrics.
Yeah.
And so I knew a couple, felt a little poke or whatever. I didn't know. All of a sudden I realized, oh, my God, she's talking about dancing close to a gentleman who got an erection.
Yeah. Now, I'm not trying to start trouble, but I think Spam is a lot cooler than Scotch Tape.
Yeah, or the Milky Way. I guess
The Milky
Minnesota,
Way?
Yeah, like the candy bar.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess Minnesota invented that as well.
I didn't know we had anything to do with the Milky Way.
Twister. We invented Twister, the game that you play where your body bends. That's pretty cool.
I'm a fan of dill pickle Old Dutch chips. Those are delicious.
So here it is. I guess what we're dealing with here is another fake election.
Streaming now on Netflix, a new sports series from Peyton Manning's Omaha Productions, Starting Five. Set during the 2023-24 NBA season, the series will feature 10 45-minute episodes following 5 players, including Timberwolves star Anthony Edwards. Then tonight on ABC, the 4th season premiere of Abbott Elementary. In Brotherhood news,
here we go now.
Couple things here. Nick Swartzen is 48. Our buddy Nick. This text says, I don't know whose inner thigh I need to rub to get a text right on air, but looking for a shout out to my family in the direct path of Milton. That's from No Longer Florida Man Jesus. Yeah. Good luck to them. Sending some good vibes to our pal Vertically Challenged Jesus, getting an EEG today. Good luck to Big Rig Fenders Jesus. He's got a new promotion he's about to crush as shift supervisor.
Woohoo.
Today is Poopin' in Your Shoes Jesus' Friday. And then happy 20. I don't have a name attached to this, but for the person that texted in on your 25th birthday, happy birthday to you. And that's 93X News.
Randy Shaver.
I love this dude. I mean, this dude is electric.
On the Half-Assed Morning Show.
We have like this group chat. Training camp was about to start. Every night we get like a text message saying what group you're going to be in because of COVID protocols. There's got to be like 2 or 3 groups. It was like always the older guys, the experienced guys who got the most games. They would all be in the same group together. Suits, Zach Parise, all those guys. I was in that group and Kirill was left out and he was in the second group. And the second group was like the taxi squad guys. All of a sudden, like this kind of goes on for like 2 days, 3 days, 4 days. And like Kirill's not practicing with us. He's practicing with the other guys. So whatever. We weren't thinking anything of it. And then one night we get like at 9 o'clock, like text message on the phone. It's like Kirill Kaprizov. The guy has never texted anyone. He doesn't like speak English. We're like, what's this guy texting the group for? All it says is like, what the I want to be with best players, not players. Like, and he's texted all the taxi squad guys on one text message. Interrupted guys that didn't know each other yet. Everyone was just chiming in. Cam Talbot's chiming in and he wasn't giving Minnesota yet.
Ass Man.
Yeah.
Lonely Boy.
Good morning. Is he back?
He's back.
Yeah.
Well, not yet, Randy.
Did you miss me for that whole day I was gone?
Different guy.
Oh, different guy.
Keep it in your pants for now, Randy. Keep it in your pants. At 8 a.m., we're expecting a call.
Oh. I thought you missed me.
No.
Of course we did.
I miss you, Brad. Randy doesn't.
Tuesdays and Thursdays are a real bummer.
Randy doesn't care.
He doesn't treat you very well, Brad. Randy
I'm used to it.
Coming up at 8 a.m., so 25, 22 minutes.
All right.
Why don't you react like this on a regular day?
I do.
Coming up
I love our guests, though. I love Andrew DePaula. I love Dick Bramer. I mean, you guys get great guests. It's fun.
Yeah, we have some good people. By God, good people. Pigs
lucky.
veteran, tough guy winger Marcus Foligno is going to be calling in about 20 minutes. And from what I understand, he's pissed.
Oh, about
You?
me? What did I do?
Another year on the show.
He's Robert Saleh pissed. Did I say that correctly?
Saleh,
Robert Saleh?
Saleh.
Yeah.
Robert
Saleh,
Yeah,
yesterday, Karen Rogers fired his head coach.
he pretty much did.
hilarious.
Yes.
A fella named Robert Saleh is how you say it.
Yep.
Karen fired him. And I understand
much.
he's pretty pissed off.
Yeah. He wasn't. I have to be honest. He wasn't a great head coach.
No?
No. I disagree with Woody Johnson's description of his team, though. It's not the most talented team in the world either. But
Who the hell is Woody Johnson?
he's the owner of the Jets.
He called them the most talented team in the league?
He said something to the effect that they are one of the most talented teams in the league.
Oh, what a joke.
Shut up.
So the Jets are off to a 2-3 start. Now, word is the coach, Saleh, got escorted out of the building by security because he didn't take it well. I've heard a few people say that's how it played out. I've read a few other people that said that's nonsense. Nobody escorted the guy. I like to believe that he was escorted out by security. That's way more fun. That's way more fun.
Most times they do get escorted out of the building, whether they put up a fuss or not. That's
But the story was, Brad Ryder, that he was pissed.
Oh, okay.
And so
He seems fiery.
They made sure they had the security person. Now, sure, I understand it's probably policy to make sure no one steals a picture off the wall or punches someone in the mouth.
I've seen it here, or technically our old building, but it's happened here before.
They brought in like straight up SWAT team members for that one dude.
Oh, yeah.
my gosh.
dude.
They would have to.
They bring a bear cat here. Like, oh, boy.
Oh, that'd be cool. I don't know if I would be upset if I was him. I think I'd be pretty cool with like staying at home for 2 years and making $20,000 a day.
Yeah, I think he'll probably make.
You're talking about Bob Saleh,
Yeah.
the former head coach of the. Well, these guys have that competitive thing happening and that ego thing happening. Ashley, you're a modest person.
Dude, $800 an hour. What the heck?
Right.
You're right. Normal people would say, I got life dick now. I'm going home. I don't got to do anything. You're going to pay me, what'd you say, $20,000 a day?
Yep.
But these guys, he's a pro sports guy. Their egos can't handle things like
He's
this.
also a young guy. I mean, he's not going to sit around and not work. I think that he's a good coach. He's a great defensive coordinator. He was with the 49ers. He'll find a job. It will not be hard for him to land a job somewhere.
He'll be a defensive coordinator next year.
Yeah.
Well, of course, every one of these guys, they rotate around from team to team until the day that they die. Of course, he's going to get another job.
And he'll get paid by the Jets when he does that. So.
And some other owner, if he does a good job as a defensive coordinator in 3 or 4 years, we'll probably look at him and say, okay, he maybe got gas bagged by the gas bag a little bit. Maybe we should give him a chance.
Right.
He'll get another shot.
Yeah, so that's the theme is, the gas bag got this guy fired. Well, of course, who else?
Well, I think he kind of got himself fired.
Well, no, what I mean is...
They have underperformed without question.
Yes, but I'm talking about who made the call. Who made it official? Of course it was the gas bag. Just like when LeBron was playing, he's still playing. I forgot that LeBron James was still...
Yeah, he hasn't retired.
Who do you think is really running a team that LeBron James is on? Right? Same thing with the gas bag. He's calling all the shots over there, just like LeBron does with the Lakers or whatever team LeBron is playing for.
Isn't J.J. Redick the coach over there?
Yes.
He is.
Yeah.
But who's the real coach?
LeBron.
LeBron, of
Yeah,
course.
the reason LeBron hired his buddy
It's
to be the
Bronny
coach.
James, actually, is the coach.
Well, he better be. He's got to serve a purpose some way. He's not going to serve any purpose on the court. So anyway, all I'm saying is, if anybody, I read a bunch of stories saying, "Hey, don't believe this or that." It's Karen Rogers who who fired his own coach. Well, yeah, everybody knows that. Everybody knows that. Things haven't been going well for the Jets, and Karen wanted a change. What else is going on? Okay, so back to the dude being escorted out by security. It says here, he did not He did not have a chance to speak to his players. He was not allowed to gather his belongings.
Yeah, they'll pack him up. And they'll pack him up for
That's
him.
normal.
Really?
Is it?
That's
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I would feel so insulted by that.
That's the way it works.
Wow.
Brad should know.
You weren't allowed to gather your belongings?
No, I'm not talking about my example specifically.
What did you leave over there?
I have seen when coaches get fired, and that's
You like that,
how
Wapple?
Oh, that was good.
That's what happens.
So that's how it is.
I'll tell you. I'll give you my example if you want, but it was.
Well, wait a minute. So what did you leave there? Like a stress ball, a stapler, a poster of the girls of Baywatch? What did you leave in the?
A spreadsheet of Nick's
I
ticket
can give
requests.
you both. I can give you both examples. I've seen when coaches get fired, and that is exactly how it works every time.
Okay, can you give us direct examples? You're saying every time, or just when they think someone might be a tad squirrely?
No, every time.
Every time. Even the nicest coach in the world can't gather his belongings?
No.
I don't believe that.
Like Andy Reid, if he gets fired somehow, they're not going to let him
take his chili dog.
Yeah.
No, because there's a lot of internal type stuff that they don't want the coach taking with them.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay.
He's going to have to leave the mustache.
That's the way it works. I mean, they can dramatize the story all they want, and that's fine. I get it. I believe some of it, but that's the way it works all the time.
Egg Engineering Jesus says he doesn't think it was the coach's fault Karen threw 3 picks to the Vikings on Sunday.
Exactly.
Well, no, hell no, it wasn't the coach's fault. I don't know anything about Robert's Salad. What did you say his name is?
Salad.
I don't know anything about him, but hell no. 99 times out of 100, it ain't the coach's fault. It's Karen. Karen does what Karen wants. The gas bag gets what he wants.
Apparently, according to the story, the loss to Denver in Week 4 is what put everything on alert, and that Saleh was basically told if he didn't win the game in London, he probably was not going to be around.
That's what Karen told him.
Well, Karen didn't tell him that. And here's the other quote. Woody Johnson said, this is his quote, "This is probably the best team I've had in 25 years.
Oh.
That's the quote about the Jets. Not so sure that's true, but
He had some pretty good. He had some pretty good defensive teams when.
oh yeah,
Rex
for
Ryan,
sure.
not Ryan.
Yeah,
Rex Ryan. Which Ryan was that? Was there?
No, you're right, Rex Ryan.
Rex Ryan.
Wait a minute. Okay, now that you said the word Ryan, when Ryan Saunders lost his job with the Timberwolves, they didn't allow him to collect his belongings?
When Ryan Saunders lost his job, you're going to get me going. When Ryan Saunders lost his job with the Timberwolves, he was in a locker room at Madison Square Garden, and his wife was 9 months pregnant back home. So
cold-blooded.
no, they didn't allow him to, and that was your Gerson Rosas special. And they didn't allow. Yeah, they flew him home by himself, and yeah.
I was going to ask that. So what if they would have gotten rid of Saleh in London on Sunday?
And left him in London.
Yeah, they just leave him in London.
Well, I'm British now.
Sorry, bud.
He's panhandling.
That would have been cold as ice.
Get your own ride home.
Oh, and we need your passport, too.
Yeah.
Sorry.
He's just on one of those big double-decker red buses looking sad.
Going around a tour of London.
Look, kids, Big Ben.
And a very unpopular point guard was a little bit behind that. You talk about Aaron Rodgers behind this. That was the D'Angelo Russell special too.
Well, and then didn't they do that Teddy Bridgewater, some team? They kicked him off the team bus and said, "See ya."
No, I don't know anything about that.
I don't know about that.
He was playing quarterback, and then he got traded when he was on the bus, and he had to get off.
Oh.
By the way, can you stop the bus and let my friend jack off? It's one of my favorite T-shirts. My buddy Ricky wore that to the bar one night. Anyway, okay, all right. So I assumed that some coaches were allowed to have a nice little farewell, pick up all the garbage at their desk. And Brad's saying in every situation the coach doesn't get to collect his. The Ryan Saunders story is slightly upsetting, but it's a cold-blooded business, I guess. There you go.
If you retire, sure, that's different.
Dread Chick Jesus is echoing what a few people have texted in, that's how firings go in the corporate world as well, she said. If you get fired, they escort you out of the building and then mail you your belongings.
Yeah, I suppose. Yep. I guess I thought maybe there was a little more of a brotherhood there in professional sports. They seem to love each other so much, and they're kind of this They
Well,
consider
they love each other if they're winning, Nick. If you're not winning, then, yeah,
well, you know what I mean? I'm talking generally speaking. A lot of athletes, especially in the NFL, let's not kid ourselves, they like to think of themselves as the upper crust of society, right? They are special. So I thought maybe with that bond established, maybe guys would get a little more leeway. I guess not. This is very funny. Someone sent in a picture of LeBron James sitting on the bench next to his son, Barry. What the hell's the kid's name again? Bronny. Okay. And it's from a recent preseason game that the Lakers played. And it's LeBron and Bronny. It says, this duo just combined for 19.7 rebounds, 4 assists, and 2 blocks in just the first half. LeBron, 19.6 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 blocks. Bronny, 1 rebound. Oh, that's funny. All right, so there you go with the Jets. Whatever. Karen, the gas bag, that's what they got going.
So it was back in 2018 when Teddy Bridgewater played for the Jets. The team was just about to leave for their final preseason game. They were leaving the team facility, and then they told Bridgewater of the trade, couldn't get on the bus, but he still did to say bye to his teammates. But he couldn't get on the bus and go with them.
Well, why would he go with them? He just got...
Well, yeah, but it's like they did
just
the
left him
trade
behind.
right before he was supposed to leave.
Well, so he gets in his Mercedes and he drives to the strip joint. Where's the bad news in this? Jesus. Of course.
Dana, when you played for Eastview football,
Yes.
did they used to drop you off at random places before game time as part of strategy, like a winning strategy?
Well, they would tell me the wrong time that the bus was leaving. They'd say the bus leaves at 3, but then they say everybody else, no, 2:30.
Or they tell you the game got switched to Egan, and so you drive to Egan. Anytime you want to know these stories, I'll tell you. I'll tell you how it is.
Well, see, you say that. You say that, Brad. But then you do always kind of blue ball us on certain information.
What do you want to know that I didn't tell
What's
you?
this song?
How did Kevin Love really break his hand?
What do you really want to know?
How did Kevin Love really break his hand?
That was the year before I got there.
Oh, here we go.
It wasn't knuckle push-ups. We don't believe it.
Like you didn't get told the story when you got the job. Brad, I'm certainly going to turn to you for inside information because you were there in a lot of these.
You know your stuff.
But I'm not counting on fireworks just yet. You are still kind of a secretive guy. You won't tell us the song.
What does the song got to do with people getting fired?
It's just you being secretive.
Yes.
Well,
You hold it close to the vest.
I offered up to tell you the story of what happened the day I got fired, but
A few people are texting in saying maybe we could ask Marcus Foligno about Dean Evison getting fired. I don't know if he'd ever want to talk about that.
Let's ask him. We can ask him.
Well, give him the context, though. Tell him we were talking about fire.
Yeah, of course.
I guarantee that Dean Evison didn't get to say anything to his team before he walked out the door.
The spray tan man. He was one of my favorites ever. All right, so finally on this stupid ball club in New York and the Karen thing, NFL dorks immediately want to talk about who's going to take the Jets head coaching job, maybe for the rest of it. They appointed some schmuck to be there for now, but maybe they hire a coach.
I'm sure he'll finish the season.
You think so?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, some NFL guys are already talking about who will take the job next year, and the usual suspects are coming up in conversation. Bill Belichick, Tom Brady, Trevor Bauer, Don Callis.
Well, Tom Brady's not coming.
Don Callis, wow. Man can do everything.
That would be a surprise.
Bill Belichick makes sense, though.
How so?
Just because,
I'm kidding, of course.
Because Woody Johnson, I think, really respects him, yes.
All right. What else is going on around here? I'm totally in love with the Washington Commodores. You guys know that. That's my ball club.
Yep.
I couldn't tell you the name of this quarterback. Randy, what's his?
Jaden Daniels.
Love the Washington Commodores.
Yep.
When we go to Wisconsin next weekend to the Turtle Lake Casino, I'm putting all my money on the Washington Commodores.
Attaboy.
Yeah. This is hilarious. So speaking of funny pictures, memes, whatever the term is, somebody posted this on the godless, evil internet. It's a side-by-side picture of Jaden Daniels, the head, not the head, but the quarterback of the damn Commodores, and then next to him, Deshaun Watson. the quarterback for the Cleveland Browns. And it says, so the two of them must have played each other last weekend or this season at some point. Can anyone confirm that for me?
Deshaun Watson in Cleveland and Washington?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have that in front of me. But
They played, last Sunday.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
34-13.
In favor of the Commodores.
Yep.
It says here, watching Jaden Daniels and Deshaun Watson go head-to-head is fascinating. Daniels plays a lot like Watson, except he's faster, smarter, stronger, more accurate, less creepy, more elusive. His teammates don't hate him, and his fans don't wish a lawsuit negates his contract.
Wow.
Suppose maybe you got to see it. I'll read it again.
I liked it.
It's a side, but the Lynx are rolling into the NBA Finals.
Yeah, they are.
Mm-hmm. They won that deciding game last night. Skis over the Connecticut Sun block.
I mean, they got up big and they did not let go. Yeah, that was good.
So now they'll face faces. Now they'll face the top-seeded club called the New York Liberties for the league championship series that starts tomorrow night in Brooklyn. Josh was just rapping a week or so ago about how she was raised out in Queens and he's straight out of Brooklyn.
Yeah.
What was that?
That's your drum machine.
Yeah. Someone explain this one to me. Karl Anthony Towns has a new nickname with the New York Knickerbockers. He's been given the nickname the Big Bodega. Is that?
Yep.
Yeah.
What is a bodega?
Like a gas
It's
station?
like a convenience store in New York.
Yeah. It's not a gas station, but they've got like chips, pop, sandwiches, like a deli kind of thing.
Anything on special?
Yeah, they usually do.
Yeah.
How much for an order of ribs?
You could get a chopped cheese there.
Okay, how much for one rib?
And why are they nicknaming him that?
I don't know.
That makes no
I didn't even know what a bodega was until 10 seconds
I
ago.
don't like it. People are like, "Oh my God, it's brilliant!
Well,
it's such a good name." Because he was the big purr, right? And so people.
Oh,
are
I thought he
going-
was the big cat.
So the nickname is Bodega Cat because bodega cats are a huge thing on the internet. There's usually a cat like hanging out in the bodega, and people post pictures of hey, look, check out this
Okay,
bodega
come on,
cat.
that's stupid.
That's a reach.
I didn't come up with it. I'm just explaining it to you.
I didn't really
Oh my
like
gosh,
it either.
that's
But
dumb.
there's so much praise for it. People are like, "Oh, brilliant! It's such a great nickname." I didn't really like it either.
Why not just Cat? That's what his name
Sounds like something he might have come up with.
Well, it says one of his teammates did, a guy by the name of Josh Hart.
Oh, okay.
All right, okay. The Big Bodega, I'll have to get used to it. I don't like it. Why can't he just still be the big cat? Big league playoffs, by damn, they keep a rolling. On and on. The New York Mets are one win away from the National League Championship Series after they thumped Philadelphia yesterday 7-2. I mean, tough to pick a team to root for here. I'm not a fan of either. But, of course, I want nothing but bad things for New York ball clubs, so I guess I'm hoping the Mets
I
don't.
guess I'm going to go the Mets route.
That's
only
wrong.
Only because they have not been there in a long time. And they have either failed to make the playoffs or failed once they got there.
I can understand that.
So, the Phillies have certainly got a great baseball team, no doubt. But
yeah,
in that series, I'm pulling for the Mets and I'm pulling for the Padres.
The Padres,
the Padres are just like they're rubbing it in the Dodgers' face. I mean, they are just all over the Dodgers right now.
They
That was
hung in.
fun last night.
Tatis's home run, and he's just looking at them like, "Screw you guys."
Yep.
I mean, they're just.
2-pitch a missile. Fernando Tatis Jr. Electric.
There's a lot of bad blood there, and it's beautiful.
it's a
I don't
lot
know.
of bad
I don't know if
blood.
anybody watched that game. I watched most of that game last night.
Sure.
And Machado, that play he made to kind of open up that 5-run inning where he ran completely out of the. Did you see that out of the
Yes.
baseline?
Yeah.
And it was illegal. It's a legal play. The only time you can't do that is when you're trying to avoid a tag. But that was a great baseball play that a lot of people thought was illegal, but it was very legal, and it led to 5 runs.
I was wondering what the hell he was doing.
Yeah.
I mean, wouldn't this be something if the Padres can win this series? I mean, the Dodgers with Ohtani and all that hype and all that money, all for nothing. I love that scenario.
Yeah, but in all honesty, the Dodgers were not that far behind, or the Padres were not that far behind.
I understand
the Dodgers
that.
in the regular season.
Right.
They were pretty close.
No. I'm not calling this a massive upset because they mentioned last night on the during the game that the Padres had the best record in Major League Baseball the final 2 months of the season.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's out of nowhere or a massive surprise, but just think back to the Ohtani thing, all that money, all that hype.
Well, and they were winning 100-plus games every year, too, the Dodgers, because they spent so much. Well, the Padres do, too. The Padres' payroll is going to be pretty similar to the Dodgers. So
here's the thing. I probably just jinxed it. But I think it'd be beautiful to watch the Dodgers go home already. Okay, also in the mix today, how do you call that other club from New York? Yankees, Royals.
The Mets.
Guardians, Tigers. Yeah, those NL series continue tonight, but so do the American League Series, Yankees, Royals, Guardians, and stinking Tigers. Well, this is nice. It's always nice to reconnect with an old friend. And that's what we're doing today. It's been months, and we miss him. Joining us on the telephone, veteran winger for our hometown hockey club, Marcus Foligno. Hello, Marcus.
How you guys doing?
We're good. It's been months.
Been months. Hope you guys had a great summer.
We hope you did, too.
Yeah.
I mean, tell us all about, April was the last time we talked on the phone. You had an off season to relax and do whatever the hell you wanted to do. Did you catch any fish?
We caught some fish, yep. I caught my first ever muskie.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, ugly.
That was a big deal for myself, as I've been trying to chase it for a while. But other than that, just it was a great summer up north with the great weather. We got lucky in July and August. It was beautiful. And just relaxed and just got recovered and did some rehab and got to work in the gym again a little bit more. And now here we are, a day away from regular season. So it flies by, but it felt like a long summer for me with all the rehab I had to do and things after surgery. But I feel great. It was a great summer for myself. A little bit selfish in the sense of we didn't do much, just hung out by the lake and we got back to 100% and excited for the big game tomorrow.
Well, we're glad you're back to 100%. Yeah, I mean, I can imagine rehab and injuries is a pain in the ass, but you got to get through it. I'm thrilled that you caught that first ever muskie. It's an elusive sumbitch, I'll tell you that right now. Guys fish up and down trying to find, and they can never find. So you caught some. Did you make any new friends? Did Marcus Foligno make any new friends while he had it?
No, not really. Not a whole lot. Stuck with the family and I mean, when you're up north, you're on an island. It feels like you're in the middle of nowhere. So it's pretty. You don't get to see too many people. I don't leave my house as much and leave the lake. So, which is not a bad thing, but unless it's for food and things that the kids need, that's all we go to town for. And usually family and friends come out to visit, but nothing new.
That sounds like.
I think just maybe the newest would be the muskie guide. I really like that guy.
Oh yeah. Oh, you guys are buddies for life.
I've been texting him and seeing if he wants to hang out a little bit more, but no, that's it. Yeah, no new friends this summer.
You're bonded with that guy for the rest of your life now. He puts you on the fish, man. That's special.
Yeah.
You mentioned rehabbing and whatnot. I mean, again, that must be trying. Every once in a while, I read about one of these hockey players, and your role as an enforcer. It's a different kind of a role. Not a lot of guys can do it, but every once in a while I read about one of these guys who, when able, they take jujitsu and karate and all this kind of stuff to get themselves ready for that enforcer role. Are you lethal? Do you have the papa? Do you have that action in your repertoire?
No Jackie Chan in me. So I the only thing I've done and I do once in a while is just a little bit of boxing lessons where you just kind of it's honestly more just for how fatiguing it is and like you're trying to keep your hands up and make sure you don't let your guard down, things like that when you're tired especially. So I've done stuff like that, but grappling, MMA, martial arts stuff, I don't really. In our job, once you hit the ice, usually the fight's over, so you don't have to worry about any of the groundwork. It's one of those things where I just want to feel protected and confident that I can protect myself. So I've done some boxing, things like that, where you feel good about it. So, I've seen some videos of the heavyweights in our league this year. I think that Matt Rempe out of New York Rangers, he was doing some punching things while on the ice. I mean, it's great and all, but I feel confident in a fight where you can now grab a guy and then you can kind of feel what he's capable of doing just by his reach and things like that, and how strong he is when he grabs you. So you can read a lot about a guy when the first time you grab someone on the ice, especially in a fight. So not saying I'm the best at it, but you just feel comfortable when you do it a little bit more and more, and you get more confidence in it.
Don't you think it'd be cool if the NHL would allow, you square off with a guy on the ice, say tomorrow night? Don't you think it'd be cool if the NHL would allow you just to wrap both your hands around his neck and just choke him a little bit? You know what I mean?
I don't know what the rule is on that. I don't know if that's totally it's a suspension or I don't know.
You might find yourself with more time up north if you did that.
More time up north in a cage somewhere.
More time with your muskie guide.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's I know it. I don't really I know we have. I don't know how many rules are within with the fight. I don't know if it's just frowned upon. So, hey, you're in a fight. You're going to do whatever you can to survive. So, choking. We've seen guys get it, and where someone grabs them from behind, kind of puts them in a headlock and chokes them out a little bit. It gets a little bit. You see some guys their eyes go a little bit crazy when that happens. In a fight, I don't know if I just got to start punching guys in the Adam's apple or something like that, just to kind of make them not breathe anymore. But that would be the first.
Yeah, you cut the wind off. You hit him right in the Adam's apple.
Yeah, I'll just make it play I tried to hit him in the face, but I went underneath and hit him in the Adam's apple, and now he can't breathe.
Oh man, I don't know. Maybe someday, before you retire, maybe choking will become legal and.
You never know, honestly. It might come back. It might just become the 80s again. Just get crazy.
Yeah. Well, here you go. Tomorrow night, you're starting off the new season. All right, what do you think about this? Now, I was reading an article online, a website called Yardbarker, and they picked one player to root for from every NHL Western Conference team. That's where your club resides, there in the Western Conference. And if you go look up the Minnesota Wild, they say the one player to root for from that club, sorry, bro, defenseman Jared Spurgeon. They didn't say Jack.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be rooting for him, too.
That's big of you.
Yeah.
Not cheering against him.
Also coming back from an injury.
Yeah.
Says here, Spurgeon, one of the smaller defenders in the league, 5'9", but he's overcome those odds for coming up. This is his 14th season. Only played 16 games last season. And, he's a captain of the club, looking to prove there's still something in the tank. They picked Jared Spurgeon. A good pick, we all agree. But maybe your feelings are a little bit hurt. I don't know.
No. You know what? No, that guy deserves it. I had an injury last year, but nothing compared to what that guy went through. He had a back kind of fusion surgery, hip labrum repair within a month apart from each other. So he was talking about being, probably having to stay still for a while and not be able to do some things, walk in general. My rehab was nothing compared to that guy's rehab. So, and for him to be the leader of our team, and we saw how much pain he was in when he started up last season, and just it's what happens, a little bit of wear and tear, and things go on you, and it's unfortunate timing. But that guy, it's not only just the physical part, I think the mental part too of it's tough. When you're away from the guys, it's brutal. Honestly, you feel like you don't belong, and you feel like you're not a part of it, so it sucks. So for him to only play 16 games, I think at least I got something like 50 last year or whatever, and I didn't feel part of it at all, and I could not imagine what he went through. So we're super pumped to have him back in the lineup tomorrow, and that's going to be a big energy boost to our team because, just being the captain is huge, but the way he plays and how good he is and how sound defense he plays. And I know he's not the biggest guy out there, but man, he does a lot of things so well that it makes it so much easier on everyone around him. Like, we break the puck out so much better, and it's so noticeable in this training camp because of him. So it's going to be a huge piece, and everyone's, I think, huge about Brock Faber, kind of his whole year last year. But now you add Spurgeon, it's just going to help out a guy like that even more, and help out so many other guys and their kind of their tandems with their other defensemen. So it's a huge boost, and we're pumped. We're pumped to have him. And the guys will be fired up tomorrow when he gets introduced in the lineup.
Let me ask you something. Have you and Spurgeon ever been together, on an off night or something, and the two of you maybe go off to the gas station, get a pack of cigarettes or whatever?
Jeez, I didn't know where this was going at first. I was getting ready.
Has anyone ever assumed Spurgeon to be maybe your son?
We call him, his nickname sometimes is Leatherface, because it's just like his skin is just
beautiful.
leather. Like, it's just he's so young looking, and can't grow a mustache, facial hair, everything. It's just if you look at Spurgeon's son, they look identical.
Yeah.
It could be the same age, could be brothers. And he's about 14, 15 years old. So Spurgey does not. I don't know if he lathers that face up with olive oil every night. There's something that he's doing that we should all start doing.
He knows skincare secrets that the rest of you don't know.
Yeah, I mean, maybe that's just he took care of it even more ever since he had more time on his hands last season. But man, whatever he's using, it's working.
Well, Randy and Brad and Josh remember this. When we were kids, we always saw ads about oil of Olay.
Yeah. Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Maybe he bathes in oil of Olay.
Yeah.
And comes out every day looking like he's 19 years old.
Yeah.
Marcus Foligno's on the line with us here. Marcus Foligno of the Minnesota Wild, starting up the season tomorrow. You got a new club, well, sort of, in the NHL, the Utah Hockey Club. Now they've moved north from Arizona to. How do you feel about a couple of trips to Utah?
I'm looking forward to it. I mean, I'm disappointed we're not allowed to go back to Arizona. That's one, obviously, my favorite place to go play, and obviously it's a great little vacation spot within the season especially near a colder climate like we are. So whenever you see Scottsdale on the schedule, it's great. But now that's out of the equation. I'm just excited to go to a new city and see what Utah's all about. Never been to Salt Lake, and my brother played there last night for the first game, and I chatted with him, and he says it's a really, really cool spot. And beautiful. The mountains obviously are amazing. So sounds like that arena last night was rocking. Hopefully that's how it stays all year for that team, and it'll be a fun place to play, and the atmosphere will be great.
Anyone here on the panel ever spent any time in Utah?
Oh, yeah. I traveled there with the Timberwolves a lot.
Oh, I was just there for fun like a couple months ago.
I flew into it once, and it was just perfect. You guys know how I hate airplane rides, but we were coming home from Hawaii, and we got to Salt Lake City right as the sun was coming up, and it was just absolutely gorgeous. Yep. Brad, you went there when the Wolves would play the Jazz.
Yep, spent there. I've probably been there half dozen times. It kind of reminds me a little bit.
Did you strap on the skis? Did you go downhill skiing?
No, I'm not a skier. It kind of reminds me a little bit, Marcus, of like when you go to maybe Calgary or something like that.
Okay.
A city kind of cut out of the mountains a little bit,
Yeah.
It feels like you're in a different country. Like it hit you. It's like you don't even think you're in the United States. It's crazy there. It's undescribable.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
All right, Marcus, I got to warn you, though. This is just my personal opinion. Don't stay too long in Utah. Maybe it's just a place to visit. You don't want to stay too long because a friend of ours, Zach Parisi's brother Jordan, has been living out that way, and it's only made him weirder.
Yeah. He's a lot more deep than he's ever been. He cries a little more than he ever used to.
He was an odd guy going into it, but since he moved out that way, he's gotten even weirder.
No, come on.
Man,
in an endearing way.
I heard about it. I heard about this, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
I mean, good thing we're there for just a game and get that one. So.
Yeah. If you play a playoff series there, God forbid, just stay in your hotel room. I think.
Well, what, like, is it a quiet city, or is it still a a busy city.
What do you, Brad Ryder?
I would say it's relatively quiet. Yeah, I mean, there's not a lot of I don't know. There's not a lot of debauchery or anything going on there, but it's pretty quiet.
You got to pretty much bring your own beer everywhere you go, right?
Yeah. And they also have like the lowest. I guess I don't know how to say it. But you know how like here to get a D-dub you got to be over 0.08. There it's like 0.05 or 0.04.
That's hilarious that you visited there for a short amount of time.
You know the
And
rules.
we're aware of that.
Well, everybody warned me that their liquor laws are a little different. Like, you can't just go into a bar and get a beer. The first thing they ask you before, if you order a drink, is
so Uber doesn't do well there.
Uber doesn't make jack squat. Now, speaking of the Parisis, a few years ago when we had Zachy on the show, I believe he said his least favorite road trip was, I think he said it was Calgary or Edmonton, and he said there's just nothing to do in either of those cities. First off, would you agree with that, Marcus, even being a proud Canadian? Would you agree with that? Or, and also, what would be your least favorite road trip? What city do you just go,
I agree with the Edmonton. I mean, Edmonton stuff, I never really had like anything like, even just trying to find some like good restaurants and stuff like that. And you want to go with the guys out too. It's slim pickings in Edmonton, and then Calgary, I will say, is a little bit more better of a city, a little more fun, a little bit more things to do, and definitely I feel like the food seems a lot better for dinners with the guys and stuff. So Calgary's definitely got a better rep than Minnesota does, Edmonton does. But for my like, I don't know, least favorite. It's tough, but I honestly am not a big fan of
Columbus.
The odd one is we'll take away Winnipeg, but I feel like Carolina. I don't know why every time we go to Carolina, it's not a great time.
Okay, all right,
There's not. I mean, Carolina's beautiful. I think if you go outside of where we're located, we have like this like hotel that's been by a bunch of like little outlet malls, but other than that, there's not much to do. It always seems like we got a nice day off there, too, so it sucks.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah. What if we played like word association? What if I just named a city and you came up with one word?
Okay.
Dallas.
Great.
All right. Philly.
Tough.
Tough.
Tough is like just the city too. Like that's a city that there's not much going on too.
Chicago.
Not the players are tough. It's the city's tough.
The city's tough. Chicago. Your brother still plays in Chicago, right?
Yeah. One word, just I don't know. I think it's classy.
A classy town.
How about Columbus?
Oh,
Columbus underrated.
Yeah,
really?
I would agree with that, because it's a college town.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, we've had some great times in Columbus, and my brother played there. We've been out to some, the college bars and all that stuff with the food scene too.
Really?
Like the downtown's super clean.
Yep.
Wow.
And I mean, Ohio State. We've been to a Ohio State game before, and it's a riot, man. It's a fun city.
You guys must really struggle when you go to those college bars.
Just ignored.
Oh man!
$2 beers a night. We just make sure we get to the table.
Imagine being some 21-year-old kid just hoping to get lucky, and all of a sudden Marcus and the fellas roll in.
What do they have?
We don't do it often. When we were a bit younger, we did a little more, but not as much anymore now. But
Columbus
is a better place to go watch a football game.
Columbus is better than Cincinnati or Cleveland, in my opinion. But
all right,
yeah.
Brad Ryder's also a very traveled man. He is working for the Timberwolves. All right, Mark. Oh, before we let you go, we wanted to ask you a question, if you don't mind answering it. Now, we were having a conversation about the New York Jets head coach, Robert Reed. Robert Reed. No, he played Mike Brady on the base.
Right.
Brady, but, Robert Saleh was fired as the head coach of the New York Jets, and we had a conversation about how the story was that he wasn't allowed to collect his belongings, he wasn't allowed to talk to the players, he wasn't allowed to do anything. He was just shown the door. Brad Ryder over here, who has worked for Golden Gopher Hockey, Minnesota Timberwolves, Minnesota Twins, he said that's always the case when a coach is fired or a player, Brad Ryder, or a player.
Well, if a player's traded, they're probably, most cases, not in the locker room.
Let's take the player out of it then.
Yeah.
What you said was it's a regular thing when a coach is fired that he's not allowed to say squat or collect any of his stuff. They just throw his ass out the door.
Yeah.
Is that the experience that you've had, Marcus Foligno?
Yeah, we don't see the coach that got fired lingering around, saying goodbyes. I mean, honestly, every time a coach has been fired, and I've had many because I was in Buffalo, we went through 4, 5, 6. It was you got to call them and reach out to them, and then they have a time where they come and they collect their stuff in their office when no one's there. So it's very it's harsh in some terms, but I think it's just it is what it is, and they don't want I guess any more distractions. If someone, even guys get traded, right? It's so quick, you barely even see them on trade deadline and stuff like that. When guys get traded, I mean, it's like if you hear about it, and then that guy's on a plane gone already to that city. So it's quick.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little bit cutthroat, but I guess that is what it is. It's
I guess I don't know.
Sign up for.
I don't know why I think sports would be any different. I guess I don't know why I had that in my head, because it's the same thing around here. When somebody gets gassed, they're just gone, and you don't have a farewell party. It's just they're here, and then you never hear from them again. All right, one more thing for Marcus. Yeah, who was that? Brad?
No. Real quick though, don't you find that Robert Saleh?
Saleh?
Yeah.
Saleh or Salah, whatever his name was.
Yeah, Salah. Did you see the movie 300?
Yes.
You know the Persian Prince?
Yes.
Does he not look like that guy?
Yes, he does.
Yeah, he really does.
Every time I see him on the sidelines, I just picture this guy with some nose rings and I'm like, this guy's the Persian Prince.
What was his name? Is it not Zeus, but something?
Xerxes?
Yes.
Yeah, crazy.
I bring you great pleasure, Leonidas. You know that whole
For sure.
They do look a lot alike. All right, a website called Bleacher Report predicted all 16 clubs that will make the playoffs this year in the NHL. They didn't mention your hockey club, Marcus Foligno. What do you got to say about that?
They put us in not making playoffs?
Not making the playoffs, they said.
I just got a bunch of explicit words for that, but that's yeah, you know what? That's awesome. It just fuels the fire, and then people are always wrong at the end of the season. We hope the Bleacher Report is putting their tail between their legs and walking out the door. So that's it. That's what we're excited. We got a lot of people writing us off this year, and you know what? After not making the playoffs, and you know what? Probably everyone thinking that we didn't do enough things to improve our club, which I really disagree with. I thought we got a lot of our forward lines are really, really balanced now. Our D are amazing. So I'm excited. I'm excited to prove people wrong, and it's exactly what this team needs. A little chip on the shoulder going into the season, a little bit of FU mentality, and we're gonna do really well. So I'm excited for the opportunity to disappoint people.
I hear you. Oh, I lied to you. One more. Listeners want to know, how big was that muskie you caught?
40 inches.
Oh, dude.
Nice.
Not big enough, but to like, really, really brag about it, because I'm hearing all these stories about 56 and all that stuff, and I'm like, oh my God, I couldn't imagine going up that. Like, when I held, I was like, this is insane. So, yeah. Freshwater sharks, man, it's crazy.
You're exactly right. We can't tell you how much we enjoy having you back on the program,
Great
Marcus
to have you
Foligno.
back.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. Looking forward to talking some more about the season.
You bet, man. Have a nice start to the season tomorrow night. Marcus Foligno here on the Half-Fast Morning Show. You bet. You're welcome. All right, we got to get the hell out of here. Gentlemen, Randy Shaver, Brad Ryder, thank you for everything, and we'll talk to you soon.
Okay.
See ya.
We got to go. Be back in a few minutes on the program.
Half-Assed Morning Show.
They're loud. They lose control. They do their little circus act. They're a nuisance.
93X.
Our technicians are geared up and ready to make sure your system is running reliably this winter. Regular maintenance from Standard Heating and Air Conditioning helps prevent costlier breakdowns in the future, and we know they always happen at the worst time.
Hey, Ashley here. Get your home ready for winter. Schedule your furnace tune-up with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning and save $30. Have a boiler? Save $40 on your boiler tune-up. Visit standardheating.com to book and lock in your savings. Stay cozy, stay ready.
Every week, Michael Rosenbaum is getting deep with someone new on the Inside of You podcast.
actor James Marsters.
Are you somewhat content? Do you still stress a lot?
If anything, I feel guilty that I have it so good. If you make the decision to be an actor, the deal is poverty. I don't understand. How did I get here? You know? And the answer, how did I get here, is really one audition one day for Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Inside of You with Michael Rosenbaum, wherever you listen.
Half-assed morning show.
Please stop masturbating.
On 93X.
That's a beautiful thing. We appreciate you listening to our little setup we got here called the 93X Half-assed morning show. It's 8:33. Driving. Let's talk about our driving. What do you listen to behind the wheel? Do you like it loud? You crank the acid rock? Do you just listen to... Josh listens to both kinds of music when he drives, country and Western. Do you like pop music? Do you like hip-hop? You like a variety?
Yeah.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah, and it depends on the day. Like,
Sure.
I usually...
I think that's kind of the definition of variety, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, it's like, yeah, but I can't listen to podcasts when I come to work. I have to listen to music. But on the way from work, I can.
Ooh, I can't handle more talk after we leave this.
I listen to audiobooks primarily.
While you're
wrapped one up
driving?
today. Yeah. I do.
You got your hip-hop, you got your gangster rap, you got ska, reggae. There's millions of different kinds of music, some great, some terrible, that you can listen to behind the wheel. But then again, there's always folks talking. I didn't consider that, and look what we do for a living. I didn't consider some of you like to listen to folks talk.
The gangster rap, that's what my wife likes to listen to.
Audio books.
Yep.
Doesn't that make you kind of sleepy behind the wheel?
Oh, that's what's so nice about it. I wake up and I'm home. Oh! No, I'll tell you what, it's funny you say that. You almost have to practice listening to stuff like that, because when I first started listening, because I do some hybriding, right? Where I'll read at home and then I'll listen in the car. And sometimes I noticed when I was listening in the car, I would tune out and realize I have no idea what happened in the book at all.
Yeah.
Like they'll say something in the book and then it'll get me on a train of thought. So you kind of have to learn how to focus, at least for me, at least.
Yep, I'm with you there.
That still happens to me when I read. All of a sudden, I'll be reading, I'll be 4 pages ahead, and I have no idea what I just read.
Is it because you're distracted by all the pictures in the book you're reading?
I think so.
A few people have texted in and say that they listen to 93X all stinking day. That's wonderful. We appreciate that. We'd appreciate it even more if you were honest with us. I'm kidding, of course. That's very nice of you to say. I also mix it up. Some days I feel like Megadeth. Some days I feel like Air Supply. And a little bit of everything all mixed in between. I don't really get into listening to talk because of this. Once we leave here, I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but at 9 a.m., I am not interested in talking to anybody.
It's kind of like when at 5 a.m. It's kind of the same attitude you have when you walk in the studio.
Yeah.
A little of both. I got out of a speeding ticket once because of Iron Maiden.
Oh, yeah. That's sweet.
I was, when I was younger, whatever reason, I was an idiot. I just didn't care about getting pulled over. Wanted to go as fast as I wanted to go. I had a lot of tickets, and I got pulled over in Minneapolis, where I grew up. And the cop's like, well, what's going on? Why are you driving so fast? I'm like, I'm sorry. I was listening to my music, and I just kind of got carried away. And he was asking me what I was listening to, and I mentioned Iron Maiden. And he's like, listen, you got enough tickets on your record, and up the irons. And then he let me go.
Oh, that's cool.
Coolest cop I've ever met.
That is sweet.
That's just a straight-up pimp you were dealing with right there. Here's a listener who texts in from Wisconsin, where we'll be next weekend. This listener says they like to listen, when they're driving, to murder mysteries.
Yeah, I like to do that.
Murder mystery, yes.
I had to stop doing that in the morning on the way here, though, because I started getting afraid to walk from my car into the building. So I thought, okay, maybe enough of the murder podcast before coming.
You ever hear the story about that couple? They were on a date, and there was like a one-handed killer in town who had the hook on one hand, and then they thought they heard something, and then at the end of the date, the hook was hanging from the bumper. Did you ever hear that story?
Yes, I have.
It's a scary story.
Dude, that's so funny that you said that. My dad used to tell me that story when I was a kid. When we would have like a bonfire or something.
Yeah, it's one of the most ridiculous, made-up, yet interesting stories that anyone's ever shared around a bonfire. Now, folks realize, do they, Josh, that you can listen to us on a radio, you can also listen to us via the internet, right?
Yep, certainly an app or podcast, Whatever is
streaming,
easiest for
is that
you.
what it's called?
Sure.
Yes, sir.
You can stream.
We got that going for us. Yeah, I mix it up. Here's why I ask you about it. It says here, listening to metal while you drive. It suggests that listening to metal while you drive makes you dangerous. Metalheads are more likely to, oh no, honk at other drivers.
Really?
Metalheads are more likely to run red lights, get into major crashes, and get DUIs.
Whoa.
More than any other musical genre.
I mean, it gets you pumped, right?
Yes, it does.
That's like, I know. So after the Iron Maiden incident, I decided I'm just going to start using my cruise control. Just so I can not have to worry about it anymore. So I don't get so distracted by how pumped I am or whatever it is.
I'm not a cruise control or air conditioning guy when I'm in a motor vehicle, but sure.
Yeah, I don't like cruise control either, Nick.
I have absolutely noticed while listening to a really hard driving metal song that I enjoy, I've noticed that, for God's sake, I'm suddenly hovering around 90 miles an hour. That's silly. But, yeah, it does something to you. It does. And maybe that's the reasoning behind some of these problems that metalheads are having behind the wheel of a motor vehicle. It does. And that's part of why I will always be a hard rock and heavy metal fan, because it gets a reaction out of me. Not always a positive one, but it gets a reaction out of me. For you folks who listen to talk, I got to ask, is there still a Playboy channel?
I haven't had satellite since it expired, the free service.
Okay, satellite radio. The Playboy channel.
I listened to it once, and it was not what I was hoping it would be.
It's like it got canceled back in 2013.
Are you serious?
Wow. All right.
Oh, wow. I never would have guessed.
Many years ago, one of my buddies, big satellite radio fan, and he loved to listen to all the dirty talk on the Playboy channel. It just so happens this guy wants to sell his pickup, this buddy of mine, and he wants to sell it on my property. I've told you guys before that I used to live in a spot that was highly visible right on a major highway. Sold a lot of cars on my property. A lot of my buddies sold their cars on my property. It worked like a charm because of the visibility. So this buddy of mine has his pickup on my property. And the only negative was every once in a while one of these buddies would say, hey, I got a couple people coming over to look at the vehicle, but I'm working. Can you go out? So suddenly I'm selling the car for my friend, which at times it was a pain in the ass. So here comes about a 45-year-old man and his 16-year-old son. They're interested in my pal's pickup. I'm the only one there to help sell the vehicle. My buddy left me, a set of keys. Typical scene. The dad wants me to, start her up. Start her up. Let's hear how she sounds when you start it up. So there I am with these two complete strangers, one an adult, one a child. And I turn the vehicle over. My buddy had left his radio on the Playboy channel, and he left it on loud, not on purpose. That's just what he liked to listen to. So the very first thing this dad and his son hear as I turn the friggin' engine over is some lady going, and the clitoris is very sensitive to the touch of a tongue or whatever. And for God's sake.
Oh, that's rough.
And they looked, I didn't tell them this isn't my car. Why would they care? So now they're both looking at me like, I'm not going to buy a car from a sick pervert who listens to this stuff at a high volume.
Could you imagine pulling up to like a red light and then someone's got their window down and they're just playing the Playboy channel on full blast?
Wouldn't it be cool if you both were listening to the same thing? Just give each other a nod? Like,
Nice, we're creeps.
A lot of times if I am going to listen to talk on my radio while I'm driving, I listen to old stand-up comedy albums. So, Wapple, I've been there many times where I'm listening to an old Andrew Dice Clay record where the things that he is saying are more graphic than anything you could hear on the Playboy channel. And I turn that sumbitch down when I get to a stoplight because, come on. You can't have that stuff blaring out loud while you're at a... There's all kinds of other factors in this article about, what type of music fans get into trouble for this or that behind the wheel. It just gets kind of monotonous. They mention R&B and soul, EDM. Isn't that stuff you young people, you drop acid and you get naked and go to an EDM show, right?
Yeah.
Rap, every damn
They're
thing.
the road ragers. That's what they said about those. They're more likely to have road rage than metalheads.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
The rap listeners?
Yeah, everything he just said, R&B, soul, rap, and EDM.
That's weird about EDM because, like, the EDM I listen to, it's kind of like tropical and, like, good vibe stuff. It's kind of hard to get road ragey.
Maybe that means that you've got a temper and you're trying to calm yourself down, but you still have that temper.
Does it say anything about people who don't listen to anything? Because you guys have ripped me for that before in the past.
Oh, I mentioned I had about a week of that, and I had asked you guys if I was insane, and you said yes.
No, I don't think so, because I've done that. But it does, like, if I get to my destination, I realize, like, I wasn't listening to something the whole time, I kind of weird myself out. I'm like, all right,
I had
weirdo.
wondered, if it was a sign I was losing my marbles, that there was like a week where I just couldn't listen to anything.
Yeah, I think it's because you have so much other stuff on your mind. Like, that's always been my experience. Like, my mind is already filled with so much junk that I don't even pay attention to music.
Some of you need help. No, the article does not mention, Dana, what it says about you if you listen to absolutely nothing. I'll tell you what it says about you. You're insane. If you're just sitting there for longer than a handful of minutes and just listening to nothing, I think you need help.
Yeah, well, I do need help. I don't know if it's just specifically because of that, but it could be.
My dad used to do that, and it would drive us friggin' crazy. Put something on the friggin' radio.
Oh, there's something in the car with me. I'll put something on. But usually I'm just kind of going radio silent.
All right, by the way, before we close out this conversation, I wanted to run this by you, Josh, because you're the car guy here. And I know you've brought this vehicle up before, and then I forget about it, and then I see one and I forget about it. But I thought of you when I read this. Now, last weekend, Stanford, the college out there in Northern California, they had a college football game, and during their halftime show, it featured a girl dressed up as a Cybertruck, and the bit was that it kept losing control and running into things. What the hell? Well, I mean, I remember us talking about the Cybertruck. There's a lot of...
Did we ever post this, by the way?
No, I never got that.
Okay.
What's the term, Josh, where you either love it or you hate it?
It's divisive.
There's a lot of... No, that works. There's a lot of divisive opinions on the Cybertruck.
Polar.
But I wanted to throw that at you. Polarizing. So where are they going with that?
Well, there's been some issues with the Cybertruck, and there are certain companies that are dropping it. By that I mean insurance companies won't insure it.
Oh no. Okay.
The first person. How do I phrase this? I have a friend who got one, and he's the only person I personally know who has one. He recently got one of those.
Okay.
And he loves it. He loves it.
I guess the crowd is really getting a kick out of this cardboard Cybertruck crashing into everything at the halftime show.
Well, and people were joking that as crappy as this outfit was that she was wearing, the cardboard outfit, some people are saying it looks better than the real one.
That thing, that vehicle's just getting its ass kicked at every turn, it seems to me.
Yeah.
That's fun.
When we mentioned it the first time, like saying, boy, that is not the most aesthetically pleasing vehicle, folks sent us pictures of wrapped ones, and it looks cooler when they're like a different color or some of the wraps, like the Warthog from Halo.
Oh, I saw that.
Oh, dude, dope. No way.
And they put the turret gun in the back, too.
Oh, that's so cool.
I got a text message that says, you people who listen to nothing when behind the wheel, like Dana, a listener suggested, folks like that, they don't need any music or talk because they can hear the sound of the squirrels having knife fights in their brain.
Yeah, I was worried that was happening to me when I had that week where I just, for whatever reason, I wanted it completely silent in the vehicle.
Cubby, I don't need you losing your mind.
I'm back.
I need the old Cubby.
Back.
Not some new crazy Cubby.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Go ahead.
Make my day.
On 93X.
Yeah, we're about out of wind here. Just about ready to... You got a couple more minutes left in you, Josh?
I think I can handle it.
We were talking about what we listen to when we're behind the wheel of our motor vehicle. I love to drive. What movie? Raising Arizona. I was saying that if you listen to nothing, you're probably on the verge of some kind of breakdown. Got to listen to something behind the friggin' wheel. Okay, some of you have circumstances I can understand. Here's a listener who says, I work construction. And sometimes, after listening to douchebags all day, loud, terrible music, okay, sounds like his coworkers listen to a type of music he's not fond of. I listen to heavy equipment and warning sounds from lifts all day. Beep, beep, beep. It's nice to drive in silence. I can understand.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, if you're around something that's loud and constant all day, definitely.
Tell us more about these douchebags that you work with. I got to hear more about this.
Yeah, I'd like to know, too.
What are they doing over there to piss you off? I had this guy's name and I lost it. If you have time, tell us more about the douchebags. But then you have folks who go this way. Dilf Jesus, on what he likes to listen to when he's driving. Deathcore.
Scary.
Jeez.
You
I don't know
folks,
if I could do that.
Oh, you can't handle deathcore.
No, you couldn't.
Here's what he says. Give me deathcore all day. I don't know, Josh, if I've ever listened to deathcore.
I'm not sure. Is that like Dying Fetus? I don't want to offend any...
Well, I thought that was grindcore.
Yeah,
Dying Fetus.
I don't
And
know.
I'm basing that opinion from a listener friend of ours by the name of Grindcore Jesus. Okay. This listener, Dilf Jesus, loves to listen to deathcore. He says, I want the sounds of pig squeals, people vomiting, and animals dying.
Oh my gosh,
Wow.
is that really what it is?
I don't know. I don't know deathcore.
So I just Googled it, and Wikipedia gives you a few examples.
Yeah.
Whitechapel, Carnifex, and Thy Art is Murder.
The name of the band is Thy Art is Murder.
Yeah. So if there's fans of that genre, let us know. Are those good suggestions or not? Ooh, what about... Oh, no, that's something different. What? Bring Me the Horizon. Bring Me the Horizon. They're not deathcore.
No, they're not deathcore.
No way.
Absolutely not.
It looks like deathcore doesn't have a breakdown to it in the song.
Doesn't have a breakdown.
Mhm.
I got to look into this. I don't know what that means. Deathcore. I'm fascinated.
Yeah, now
I am.
I'm gonna be listening to it on the way home.
I can really listen to a song, and in the middle of the song, there's pigs squealing. That fascinates me.
Oh, he did say animals dying though. Yeah, I can't do that. Never mind.
Oh.
All right, we got a what's the term in the business? We got a response here. This was Classic Country Jesus, who says sometimes he likes to listen to nothing, absolute silence behind the wheel, because he works construction and he has to deal with the heavy equipment and the this and that and the douchebags. I asked him to elaborate on the douchebags. Okay, he says the douchebags love to tell you how to do your job all day and critique everything, all the while getting nothing done themselves. That's what he says about the douchebags.
That's probably a good definition of a douchebag. All right, so Steelers fan Jesus and plenty others are saying that Bring Me the Horizon when they started were deathcore.
I would consider them more like screamo when they started.
Yeah, they were very, very, very heavy.
Scream-o?
Yeah.
That's a brand of music?
I don't know if it's officially, but it's always what like growing up what we would call like very, very heavy metal. Like where they're actually like, basically screaming into the microphone.
Yeah, there's like no singing to it. It's just all yelling.
Yeah.
People are saying, Wapple, you need to pull your head out of your ass. There's plenty of breakdowns in deathcore.
Okay.
All right?
Yeah, Wapple. All right.
You know what else?
Thanks, Google.
There's breakdowns in radio personalities when the show's over. There's breakdowns constantly.
There is.
Park and Rec Jesus said, Squid Pisser. WTF. How do you leave out Squid Pisser as part of deathcore?
I'm going to spend all the rest of this week, because I like to listen to music more than anything. I don't turn on the television until a ball game comes on. I'm still the type of guy that listens to music all day long. I will spend the rest of this week, I'm going to dedicate my free time to deathcore. The friggin' wife's probably not going to enjoy it, but I want to learn more about this. I never heard that term before, deathcore. Sounds...
That's like stuff that Grant would listen to.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I don't even think Grant, sit, put, boom, boom, pop, Grant. I don't even think he was tough enough or cool enough for deathcore. You're giving Grant too much credit.
I thought when he went down to Texas one time, he said all he was doing was listening to deathcore.
Is that how he said it? Did he say all he was doing?
Yeah.
I ran into him a couple weeks ago. Did I tell you I ran into Grant?
No,
Jones?
jealous.
Punch him in the face.
Why? You love Grant. We all love Grant.
I miss him.
And by the way, his name is Graham. I don't know why you guys can never remember that, but yes, he's an awesome dude. So, yeah, there's a lot of deathcore fans out there. Thank you for the education on deathcore.
I don't know. Am I too old for that crowd? Can you be old and listen to deathcore?
Great question.
Will I fit in at a, what was it, Squid Pisser?
Oh, my gosh.
If the Squid Pissers play at 7th Street Entry, are they just going to pick me up and pull my clothes off and throw me out onto the street?
I'm guessing yes.
Or will they accept me as a new fan of deathcore?
You show up in like a cutoff T-shirt and some flip-flops. I'd love to see that.
I want to go just
Squid
to tell
Pisser
my
shirt.
family where I'm going. Where they ask, well, where are you going tonight? Oh, I'm going to go check out Squid Pisser.
You know what'll
Hopefully
happen?
it's not standing room only. I need a seat. I got to sit down at one.
I would prefer a chair. You know what would happen, Ashley, is I'd walk into the Squid Pisser show at 7th Street Entry. All the deathcore fans, they all know each other. They don't know me. And when I walk in, the band will stop playing. Everyone will turn and look. And I'll do this. I'll put my hand up in the air and I'll go, hey, dudes.
No.
And that'll be the end of it for me.
Just here for the breakdown.
I got my light beer in my hand and I go, hey, dudes.
So, how's it going?
Happy anniversary to Sits on Baby Jesus and Burning Metal Jesus from East Winstead Jesus. Shout out to St. Croix Casino Turtle Lake for Life Jesus, who said he's very upset that he's never had a shout out. Well, there you go.
There you go.
Hopefully we're friends.
Did that sound cool, Josh?
I liked it.
All right.
Yeah. I like that very much. Happy 14th anniversary to Renegade Bagger Jesus and his wife Peggy, and happy birthday to Mason turning 25 today. Have a happy hump day.
The 93X half-ass morning show. 93.
The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. New episodes drop each weekday. If your podcast platform has ratings, go ahead and give us 5 stars and maybe give our enemies 1. Thanks, and here's a word from our sponsor.
Hey, Ashley here. Get your home ready for winter. Schedule your furnace tune-up with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning and save $30. Have a boiler? Save $40 on your boiler tune-up. Visit standardheating.com to book and lock in your savings. Stay cozy, stay ready.